Well, hello there. I'm gonna try to talk in a really horrible fucking Irish accent. That was. I don't even know what the fuck that was. How you doing there, magical people of the internet? It is Lovely Radio again. Back for dude. How long is it? 29 episodes now. That's like, dude. That's more than a
Something
half
like that.
year.
Yeah. Something
Yeah,
like
that's
that. Yeah.
craziness. I'm Matt from Massive Beers. Joe from NAP Beer Reviews. We're here to talk beer and all that fun shit, right?
Yes, we are.
So yeah, let's dive into it, man. What's up? What's new? What's going on?
Not too much. I am like 4 days away from being finished with school.
Ah,
It's
real life.
yeah, real life, and it's weird. It's a weird feeling. Because I was like I don't know, I was in school before, and then I don't like to talk about that, but yeah, I'm up here now. I've been living in Canada for a year and a bit now, and that was an interesting experience. Yeah, it's gonna be weird to be finished. It's just the feeling hasn't quite sunk in yet. I think come Thursday afternoon, uh, it's gonna really hit that like I'm done, and I'm gonna have to like keep in touch with all my friends now and like actually meet up at certain points.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird.
Is there do you literally have anything to fucking do this week, or is it just all just going through the motions of ending shit off?
Um, I have a final. I have to do. I have to do some stuff for an assignment tomorrow, so I'm going to be in the lab at school early in the morning. Um, then I have a final on Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Where Wednesday we can kind of like look at as like a free day, basically. Is we're going into Toronto. Um, we're going to left field, Steam Whistle, and Magnata. For people who don't know, I think I talked about it last week. And by last week, I mean on Monday, last Monday. Um, Left Field is a small brewery in Toronto that has a lot of like baseball theme to them. Not super familiar with a whole lot of their beers. Steam Whistle is a fairly big brewery that just makes Pilsner. And Magnata does a bunch of stuff actually, but their brewery side, I think they make like homebrew kits, like the wort extract kit or malt extract that you would buy. I think that's what they do. So we're just going to see like a bunch of different facilities, which is getting
Now,
a
from like going to, is that something they teach you in your school? Actually, the whole malt extract side
not
of beer
really.
brewing at all? Like, I don't know if that's
No.
something they ever touched on. You know what I mean? Even though I know everything's always all grain, but I don't know if that's
Mhm.
even something they'd even put in the curriculum.
Not real. That wasn't really something that we looked at, honestly. Um, you gotta like we've looked at like how to adjust for like other in our calculations class, like how to adjust like other grains that are less fermentable. And there's actually been stuff about like syrups and like corn. If you were to add like corn syrup or something to your beer, like what the concentration is and what it's going to actually contribute, and like adjustments for that kind of stuff. But malt extract itself, we haven't really touched on.
Okay. Um, so yeah, end of the fucking era, man. Back to the real world. Got to find a
Yeah,
job. Find all that
yeah,
shit. It'll be
yeah.
fun.
It will be.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So what else we got? What do we got going on news wise? Any other personal tidbits of
Um,
whatever?
Personal tidbits, not really. News wise, we do have a
News. Let's talk
couple of
about three
things.
guys in a beard because they're your
Three
boys.
guys. Yeah. So I just saw this today. You said you found out about it yesterday.
For people who don't know, Three Guys of Beer is a very local, I would even call them a nano brewery, even though they have like decent distribution. They're out of Carbondale, Pennsylvania, just north of Scranton.
So today they put a post on Facebook saying that at the end of this year they'll be closing. The brewery was just not financially feasible for them anymore. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's sad to see because you don't want to.
Yeah, you never want to see anybody fail. Well, no, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They were never my favorite brewery, but at the same time, I'm not sitting here laughing like yes, they fucking
fuckers.
You know.
No, that's not gonna. No, and I started seeing when they first started out, either not toned in to certain off flavors or they just weren't particularly there. But I did start seeing a lot of issues with some of their beers. You know, the last couple of times that I've tried them, like, I don't know, something's off with this, you know. But yeah, it's sad to see them go. I've known them for, I don't know, pretty much past 3 years. You know, I think they were opened for a year before I met them. Which would have, I think they started in 2011 and probably late 2012 is when I met them. It was at the first time I had their beer was at the first Electric City Brew Fest. And and then I started talking to them, and Amanda and I had like this half-assed scheme of like doing a beer book, which went very nowhere, but Three Guys to the Beard was one that I interviewed for that. Like I interviewed them for the book that went nowhere. So
yeah, I mean it sucks. It sucks because you never want to see anybody fail. Like I said, they were never my favorite brewery to begin with. I just didn't like their beers, but it wasn't like I was like, fuck those guys and their stupid ass. I didn't like their beers, but I liked them enough as people. I actually purposely never reviewed their beers for the sole reason of not having to say bad shit about them, because I don't want to say bad shit about anybody. Well, that's not true, but
it's like a different feeling of like doing like a core, like a beer from like Coors or Budweiser or something, like something is going to be like a fucking dumpster fire, and you could just get a good shit on session going, you know.
But yeah, I mean they just went about it, man, fucking all wrong.
I'm looking at it now.
Like if you're to take another local
post, I looked at it and I'm like, I think they got too big too fast, and then just didn't upgrade. They didn't upgrade to go with that. Well, that's
here's the thing, and like let's use Breaker as a template, just because it's easy to use. Another local brewery is that they've done the exact opposite of what Three Guys did. Three Guys got a little bit of hay to where they kind of got connected with the right people and started publicizing themselves to the point where they started producing beer, and they're like, screw it, fuck it, we're throwing everything we possibly can into bottles, and then we're just going to try to sell as much beer as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But they failed for a couple of reasons. They failed to, make consistent, let's say consistent, because good is subjective.
No, I would say consistent. Like there's a lot of people that do like their beers, but
they failed to make consistent beers. They had numerous issues with like consistency to the point where I've heard stories from multiple distributors and bottle shops and whatever of having to constantly return stuff because it was bad, stuff like that. And basically they put every effort they had, whether it be promotionally, production to get it out the door and bottle wise, to the brew pub, which opened 2 months ago, to everything they've everything they tried to do was promotional, and they just didn't cover the beer portion of the show all that well. You know what I mean? It was like, well, whereas you have Breaker, which is like, okay, get to a certain point with the beer, baby step. Get to a certain point with the beer, baby step. Like really, it should have been make the beer. You got getting popular. Okay, now dial the beer the fuck in. Once you get it dialed in, maybe open a brew pub. Oh, now you're big enough, maybe start selling your beer in bottles. Like they're kind of going backwards.
I think what should have happened, I think their equipment should have upgraded at the very least a year ago. They should have, they upgraded their mash tun to what it is now, which was a larger, converted milk tank, which is just fine. A lot of breweries will do that. And use whatever you can get.
Yeah,
but
dude, go look at the end of my fucking Dry Lag review with Dennis from Dry Lag. They're like, he's working on fucking.
They're like a brewery's in like a fucking closet.
Yeah, and they're fucking making crazy good beer. So even you don't have to have state of the art automated push button systems.
No, you don't have to have that. But then their kettles are 3 55-gallon Blickman kettles, which are just super, like the home brewers that have a lot of money but don't want to open up an actual brewery get those fuckers. You know? And I think that should have gone hand in hand. Like, use the 3 kettles that you originally started on when you upgrade the mash tun while you're waiting for the new kettle to come in and get hooked up and all that stuff. Use the 3 and then immediately switch to the big one, one that like consolidates everything and you have everything all in the one go, instead of like 3 kettles and you're dosing hops into each one and you're doing all this stuff. So I think that should have happened a lot sooner. They did get like a double bright tank, which is actually a pretty cool thing. So the only thing that helped was getting beer out the door. Which, if the beer is not ready to get out the door, then sorry, then why is it even there?
Why is it leaving if it's not? Yeah.
But
what was I going to say? Now, the other big thing I noticed, and you might be able to speak to this to a better extent than I would because you know them personally. I from doing the radio show that I do on Sundays before this one, I've talked to quite a few brewers over the past several months, and there's a lot of breweries that are bigger than 3 Guys and a Beard that their whole their whole brewers or owners all still have day jobs. I'm pretty sure that like Johnny and one of the other dudes that was their job at the brewery. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like, like I get it. You want to do what you want to love what you do. You want that be your job, but they should have not quit their day jobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they didn't quit their day jobs, the brewery would still be around.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That was kind of another issue. It's like breweries, like I think like 5 Paddles is up in Canada. They're pretty nice brewery. They make, dude, they're fucking, their one beer they make. Do you ever have anything for 5 Paddles?
No, I haven't.
Their one, I forget what it is. It's their Russian Imperial Stout / Cascadian Dark Ale, somewhere in between. That beer's amazing, and there's 5 brewers, and they all still have their day jobs. Do you know what I mean? They're like Broken Goblet in PA is like, fairly big. They do brewery releases and very popular brewery up and coming. They all still have their day jobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's another thing where I think they might have been like a little bit too like, okay, let's quit, and this is our jobs now. It's not really how it works.
It's a little too like over.
Like they're like you said, they're still working out of 3 fucking kettles, 3 small kettles, but they're driving around in a fucking van that has been branded for 3 Guys and a Beard. Like, how much did that cost? You know what I mean? Like, do you need that?
There was too much money, I think, put in. Like you said,
there's too much pomp. You know what I mean?
There's too much put into promotion, and too much put into sales, and some of that money, they weren't at the scale where those are 2 separate budgets.
Yeah.
The brewery side has its own budget, and the sales side has its own budget. You're at a size right now where that's everything, and you got to divvy it up amongst everything, and you got to prioritize what gets what. And I think brewery equipment should have taken top priority.
Well, that's why the using it as their source of income job is kind of the biggest snafu, because that's like money's coming out. Like, yes, there's when you have a brewery, obviously you have to pay for product, grain and hops and water, electricity, the whole nine. But to pay somebody else, that's just that to pay people. You know what I mean? That's where that's where you start to drain money like hand over fist. So, so it is what it is. I mean, I've heard rumblings about it closing for a while. I actually heard a story probably about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that not closing, but I heard like what I heard. That's why when I heard the news about this the other day, it wouldn't surprise me. Heard about a month ago that I was like, someone, who the fuck was it? And I wouldn't name them anyway, but they said, oh yeah, I'm like, they mentioned the tap room. They're like, yeah, it's not busy at all. I'm like, really? And they're like, this, and the person said, yeah, and they're like, that could be the end. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, like the tap room was not opened as a, hey, it's time to expand. It was open as a last grasp effort to make it work in some form or fashion.
I could see that, honestly.
So that makes,
you say it, that makes a lot of sense, because I went in there with my friends when we came home, and the place was fucking dead, and it was a Friday. It was a Friday night. We walked in, basically no one there. You know, if you, I guess I've said this to a bunch of people, but if you dimmed the lights, took all of the Three Guys in a Beard branded stuff off of the wall, replaced them with like neon signs for like Pabst Blue Ribbon and like Budweiser, it would be just another dive bar, complete with the old guys lining the bar in the seats that they've been sitting in for the past 30 years, and the second you open the door, they turn and look at you.
Yeah, I remember.
Like it had everything.
I remember you telling me that.
It was all of those features in a brewery tap room. You know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and so it is what it is. I mean, it sucks. You wish it wouldn't happen. I mean,
yeah.
I don't. How do I put this? I mean, not that it fucking matters. You know what I mean? Because it's dead. But like, if whoever brewed there, it's Johnny and who's the other guy?
Matt.
Okay, those are the two main people. Like the other, I never even met the other people, and it seems like they were kind of like off to the side, silent partners to begin with.
They had more, like the past couple of times I barely fucking saw them anymore. Which
that actually might have something to do with it too. Maybe there's an internal turmoil. Who knows?
There could, like, I know those two still had their day jobs. So me going there at like 7:00 in the morning, I'm not going to see them. But like the times that I've gone in like the evening or at any festivals or anything like that, I never saw them anymore. I'm like where the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
You know?
So. But it's like, so you have Matt and Johnny, like, if they, again, I don't mean to sound fucking cool, if they don't get a job making beer and just kind of absorb back into normal life, then you know why the brewery failed, because they just don't love it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like, if you love it, it won't fail. And not to say it can't fail if you don't. Breweries have failed. You know what I mean? Pretty things just folded. There's breweries that fail, but you fail and then you get back up and you try it again. Like if they just kind of absorb back into normal life, then you know it was more like, okay, it was fun. It ran its course. Let's do something else. Like it's just they lost. They didn't have that it factor to where it was like the end all be all of their lives.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
So there you go, a little somber lead in. All these days, so like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, we have closing brewery news. It's like, what the fuck?
I know, right? It's weird.
What
Do you
what
want
else
to
you
talk
got?
about the? Do you want to talk about the Kane?
Oh fuck yeah, I want to
Release?
talk about the Kane thing.
I know you do.
Fuck yeah, I want to talk about the
I
Kane
took
thing.
I took screenshots and everything.
Yeah. So
You
for
have as well.
for those that
real
don't
quick,
know,
because
okay, go ahead.
before we start this, real quick, just probably one of the best beers that I've had. One of the best Canadian beers that I've had lately. Was another Grand Cuvée from Three Musketeers. It was their Baltic Porter. Holy fucking shit, was that good. It was 10% Baltic Porter.
La Trois
Did not drink
Musketeers Baltique. What is it? What is it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Porter de Baltique or something like that.
Porter. Yeah, I can't fucking pronounce that. Anyway, Baltic Porter. That was so fucking good. We had it last night. 10% Baltic Porter. Did not drink like a 10% beer at all. Just like super smooth, really crisp. Like had the like kind of lagery, but also not a lager thing going on, which was real neat. I'm like probably hands down one of the best beers that I've had from them, and I think Three Musketeers is right up there with De Duciel for me.
Yeah, dude. Like every beer I've had from them has been fucking fantastic. I had their Hopfenweiss, which is their Hefe. I had their fucking the Doppelstick or not? Yeah, it's basically their Doppelbock. And I think I've had one other one, and all of them were fucking
American barley wine. I brought that down.
Yep.
To
so everything I've had from them is fucking fantastic. And like I said, like I realized that they're Shelton Brothers distributed, so you can get them in the States.
Really?
It's just they're on shit. You go to the Shelton Brothers site, you can read up all about them. They have the list of all their beers and everything, but I just don't think nobody knows who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they just don't order it. So I'm gonna have to tell Lindo or some shit and be like, dude, you need to start getting this fucking beer.
Yeah, you gotta fucking get these guys in. These guys are good.
Yeah. So yeah, but let's get to the Kane thing. For those who don't know, Kane Brewing is out of Ocean, New Jersey, which is right by the Seaside Heights, kind of, sort of. They're pretty growing in popularity. They seem a little bit more popular to us because we're beer nerds and we live close to them.
Yeah, it's like kind of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area. It's like really kind of on everybody's radar.
Yeah, but last year, not this past GABF, the GABF, before they won a gold medal for best barrel aged stout, which is their beer called A Night to End All Dawns. And it's like every year, obviously this year was going to be much bigger because one, they've blown up in popularity, and two, once you win a medal for a beer, every fucking neck bearded fucking hipster fucking like handlebar mustache lumberjack wearing fuking fixed gear bicycle riding hipster's gonna want some. So anyway, so they've had, I don't want to say I've actually give them props for their releases. Their releases have gotten exponentially more insane, I guess you would say. Like, you know, like everybody's been clamoring. This beer actually usually comes out. Night to End All Dawns typically has come out late spring, early summer. So for it to come out now is actually kind of crazy. Like it's way later than it's supposed to come out. So it's just heights of building. They did a release probably about 2 months ago, a beer called Sunday Brunch, which is like your don't correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm right on it. It's like kind of like your Hunahpu kind of Braxis fucking kind of spiced coffee stout thing with like chilies and cinnamon and all that bullshit. Anyway,
that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. When we did a radio show and had Kane on, it was fucking awesome. And that was like lines, people kind of waiting in line at 3 a.m. kind of deal. And this is a couple of months ago. and like they had like I think they had like 4,000, 2,000 or 4,000 bottles, and it sold out in 2 hours, and it was gone. So they're like,
that was the one
okay,
that they released on Swansea Day, right?
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're coming out with 19 Old Dawn, so they're like, you know, and this is how it goes down. So all the locals are like, you should do online sales. You should do online ticket sales, and that way nobody's waiting. We're not sitting here waiting in line, and it's just easier for everybody. So they listened. So they said, okay, we're gonna fucking do brown paper tickets, which is brown paper tickets is just like an online. It's like Ticketmaster, but a lot of beer companies use them. You know what I mean? And you just basically go on there and you buy a beer.
Yeah.
So brown paper tickets, they do it. They said, okay, we're gonna do it this day at noon. They do it at noon, and it pretty much sells out in less than a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
And about 10 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds, or whatever you want to call it. Some people got in minutes later because what happens is that sometimes carts are full and then they get emptied and beer trickles out. Anyway, so I believe they had 4,000 bottles available. Now, this is kind of where I don't care, honestly, but this is kind of where I see the only flaw in the system that they did. They let people buy up to 8 bottles.
Yes.
So that was the limits. Now you can get 4. I think it was 2 of each variant is what it was. So if you take 4,000 total bottles and then you divide that by 8, you know, you're only looking at 500 purchases, because whoever's going to buy it is just going to max out on it anyway. You know what I mean? Because because it's also cane, so the bottles are still sub $20 a bottle. So they're still really affordable. You know, you're talking about a uber barrel-aged coveted beer. It's bottles like that from the brewery or Cigar City, Hunapu, shit like that. It's like they charge $30 for those things. Cane's like, I don't know, give me $17. You know what I mean? Like, so people max out on them. So you're talking about, you have 14,000. Now you said it was 14,000 hits when it came out. So you have 14,000 people trying to buy 400 bottles of beer. Or 400 tickets, I guess you would say. So that sold out in seconds. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're bots, and people are scamming the system." This isn't. I'm like, no, it's just that there's a lot of little beer and a lot of people wanted it. So now everybody's shitting all over Kane. Like, fuck Kane and their stupid ass. They're assholes. They shouldn't do this. So there's that guy, and you're like, wait a minute, you're the guy who said please do the online ticket thing. Why are you mad now? Because you didn't get your fucking beer. If you would have got your beer, you wouldn't get $2. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
he's the one that they're the people that didn't get me. The ones they're the ones that said let's do online sales, and then they're one of the people that didn't get in to get the online sale.
Then there's the whole what's the other one? Oh, you've lost me as a customer. I love that one. That's a great one. You've lost me as a customer. And that and this we'll come around back. We'll come around back on that one in a little bit. But my favorite one, because I kept reading all through all the posts just to it was so fun.
Would be more surprised if you didn't.
And I read through all the posts on Beer Advocate too. There was one big 3-paragraph post from a guy who said, "I'm going to say," and this is the best one. "I'm going to say what everybody here is thinking, and I only have the balls to say, I am entitled." You know what I mean? He's like, I've helped this brewery grow from its inception and have supported them throughout completely. And I believe that I am
fucking Bane's monologue.
And I am entitled to this fucking beer. Nobody's fucking entitled to the beer except for the fucking people who made it and the people that work in the fucking brewery. Those and their families. Those are the only people entitled to the fucking beer, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Really. So you have all these people just fucking flipping the fuck out because they want it so bad, and they're like, "Oh my god, what about mules and what about proxies?" And that's people going.
Oh my god, that's also the first thing that comes up. What about? Oh, I bet all these people that got them are just mules. Like,
yeah, it's like
fucking do that.
It's like crazy. It's like it's so butthurt, salty craziness, and it's like and then what they were doing with the release is that they were doing a release online, and then they're doing a secondary release where everybody can line up.
Yeah.
The next day, it would be like, okay, today was Sunday. They were going to do, okay, all the people in tickets over here, pick up your beer. Whoever wants to buy it by walking up, get in line. So a day or two went by, and they acquiesced to the assholishness of the internet and actually decided to do a lottery for that. So they're actually doing like the way the brewery does with the Black Tuesday. They're just saying, okay, we're not going to sell it in a line. We're just going to have everybody email us their email address. And then next week we'll draw winners, and then you people can just come up and pick up your beers. It has to be you, and you have to pick it up that day. So if you can't come up and pick it up that day on Saturday, you're fucked. So please don't even enter. You know what I mean? And then people even then people were like, but I'm already in line. You know what I mean? Like fucking, it was like 3 days before they're fucking whatever. So it was like, even when you tried to, like, I don't think they should have fucking bent at all. I think they should have stuck by their fucking shit. And it was such a fucking, it's the worst of the worst. Because here's me, I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna probably lose fucking subs now because I'm gonna say all this. Like, I went on and I looked, like, all the people that were super butthurt. I didn't just read their comments. I actually went, okay, I clicked on their profile and I looked at pictures of them. And all these motherfuckers, I could tell, dude, book by its cover, say what you will, but half the time, more than 90% of the time, it fucking works. These motherfuckers they had their first beer 2 years ago, but they feel entitled. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can see the dude, you're like, dude, I'm looking at you. Like, you're like, if I go back, scroll through your photos, like 400 days ago, you were drinking fucking MGD, and that's the only beer you're fucking. Like, literally, one dude I found it was like, he was like, I'm a loyal customer. How dare you? And I went back, and then because I'm bored, and it was my day off. I went back in his pictures, and I found his fucking Untapped, and I went on his Untapped, and I looked back, and he just, like, he had his first quote unquote good beer like less than a year ago, but he's entitled. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he's helped the brewery grow. You know what I mean? Like. And it's just like, dude, it's like, come on, like, you're whatever, like
calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, it's like, it's the dumbest shit ever. So it's like they acquiesced, and they kind of do this lottery system. Not even more people are going to get angry and pissed off. But
no, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation now.
It's the try to please everybody all the time syndrome. You can't do it.
No, you can't do it.
But
doesn't matter what happens, someone is going to be all pissy because they didn't get their bottle. You know, they didn't get their 8 bottles, but the 3 other guys in line, they're just fueling for other people, and they don't even appreciate the beer like I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The best part is there's a bunch of people, like, totally going out of their way to like stoke the fire, which it was fucking fantastic. Like, people are like, I couldn't get in, that's bullshit. And the next post would be like some random dude being like, oh, that's awesome. No, they'd be like, oh man, that's an awesome job. Can you be like, me, my neighbor, my wife, my son and his girlfriend all got in. Thank you very much. We'll be there on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, they just obviously trolling people just to piss them off. The people are going ballistic. You know what I mean? Like, people are going fucking ballistic over it. I have to say this, and this I actually have to be as neutral as not neutral. I have to be as, and this is it. This sums it all up here. Yeah. This is the story I'm going to tell about it, and about this, and I'm going to go on to some more stories because George, my buddy George, I've done reviews with him. If you watched, he's he got in obviously because George is like a fucking computer nerd, so he can get into anything. And he went and picked up his bottles today, so I'll tell you some stories of that. This is the best part. So, how do I word this without being whatever? There's somebody in the tri-state area. That's how I'm going to say this. Somebody in the tri-state area. I don't know if you know him. I don't think you do, but I know him. If
it's the same person,
I'm trying to be as vague as possible, so don't give any hints because I don't want to piss anybody off. Anyway, okay. It's a great story. This is the problem. This is the whole fucking problem. is that this person was on the cane bitching on their Facebook page bitching.
Yeah.
But they're also like commenting on people's posts, like that person that said like me, my wife, my son in his whatever got in. He actually wrote like, you know, hoarders got a hoard, like as an asshole, and on part like basically writing stuff like you're. But
do you have your phone right next to you? Because I'm just gonna text you who I think.
Yeah. It already is. I know who you. I'm not gonna say yes already because we both know. Yeah, it is. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I didn't even. You didn't have to text me. We both know. And then
okay.
But they were like kind of complaining about like and really kind of attacking people about like hoarding. You know what I mean? And then
of course.
And then how it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And but then like texted a friend of mine about like mules. That's what he was bitching about. Bitching about mules. Like fucking mules. Blah 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 blah. But then
the bootleggers of our time.
Yeah, my friend, a friend of mine texted me a text from this person saying that basically he said was trying to get bottles from a friend of mine. Said, okay, don't worry about it. A friend of mine bought it but can't go, so she's going to give me some of hers for going to get it. So basically said, fuck you mules, but that person's a mule.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
Well, it's only being a mule if you don't get it.
So it was like, it was so poetic that happened. Yeah. And anyway, I was like, okay, retarded shit. Who gives a fuck? Whatever. I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to wait in line. I'm not going to wait in line for beer. I'm just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. I always get some. Yeah, you know, I'm lucky to have friends and people that'll give me good beers. But I mean, sans maybe a new Hardy release. I'm probably not gonna fucking wait in line. But then again, if a new Hardy releases, no one's gonna wait in line because nobody fucking knows what it is. Anyway,
yeah.
So George goes today, and there's just people there. There's like literally a line of people waiting to pick up their bottles, and a line next to that line full of people with bottles trying to actively trade with the people who are in the line. You know what I mean? Like people with like crazy beer being like, "I'll trade you this for some of that," and yeah, it's fantastic, man. Because it's total like, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst, but it's so funny that's like I hate it that it exists. Like, and here's the funny part is the whole entitlement thing, like the whole like entitlement. Like I think we all fall prey to not entitlement, but we all. Sometimes I feel that way about shit too. I'm not gonna lie, I do. But here's the thing, I think and this is like, how do I say this? I wish there was some way to judge a person and not like properly. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know. There should be a test you take, and everybody gets a card. Like I'm perfectly capable of driving 100 miles per hour on the highway, so I should have a license that says I'm allowed to do 100 miles per hour on the highway, and then some people are only allowed to do 40. That's how I feel about things. So I wish there was some way for that with beer. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person's allowed to go wherever he wants and get whatever he wants whenever he wants it. Of course, I feel like I'd be able to get one of those, even though I probably
absolutely,
just because I'm egocentric enough. Egotistical is what the word is.
If that look at you and be like, no, close all the doors, just like locked up.
Yeah, well, I mean that's like the other. Like I got like somebody. And Joe. No, I mean Joe knows me, so not that I'm asking him to vouch for or whatever. But like I reviewed Not Your Father's Root Beer when I first came out. I was like, cool. And I must have said something about hipsterisms, and I got like a troll comment there, be like, "Oh, the guy with the beard and the fucking and the gelled hair and the septum piercing and tattoos are talking about hipsters being assholes." And he's like, "You should look at yourself, brother." You know what I mean? Like I'm a hipster. You know what I mean? Like so it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, you know, it is what it is. You know. Anyway, So yeah, the whole Kane thing was just I ended up having a day off. I wasn't supposed to, but I did, and it was like the highlight of my day. I just got to sit there and every 20 minutes I'd go back on the posts and then read them, and it was just like so fun. Kane, I love you.
That's I you sent me some highlights of it, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely good.
Or I think you did you like share them on Facebook or something? I don't know, something.
No, like yeah, you commented like I posted something on my beer page, and you commented on it, and we were talking back and forth and shit like that. I think that's.
Yeah.
It was anyway. It was absolutely. It was perfect. I loved it so much. So now that's and here's the thing. Like I've been to breweries and some of them not. There's very few brewers or breweries that have been like overt dicks. But then there's like when I went to Keene a month ago, and you could tell like the owner is just he was such a good dude. You know what I mean? Like you could tell it wasn't like it was like the way he acted and the way he carried himself and the way he spoke. You could tell when he was telling stories or talking about stuff. It wasn't like he was like has some kind of like written spiel that he gives people. It's just like he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. It's just a really fucking cool down there fucking dude. And then and then they went like George and the other guys from the radio show all went back down yesterday because they had to go pick something up. I was supposed to go, but I ended up not going. And they were like, he was like absolutely 100% like torn up. You could tell he was like losing sleep over all that shit. And it's like people out there like saying fuck them, they're a bunch of assholes, they don't care about us, and like you can totally tell the dude is taking it to heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's hard to see like, hey, we're just putting out a beer, and now just because someone doesn't have it, I'm now the asshole.
Yeah.
Like I'm the reason why you didn't get a beer. Like that's fucking stupid.
Like, and to go back to that point I made earlier about the person that said you've lost me as a customer. Is that like, like that person, like there's a bunch of people that said that. That was that's the one that people like to throw out there because they feel like that's like, you lost me as a customer. It's like, I listen to sports radio every day, so that's like 90% of people like, I'm not gonna listen to you anymore. And then the best part is like all the radio and it's just like, dude, you're absolutely fucking listening to me right now, just in case I read your fucking shit. Like you're not gonna stop listening. You're not gonna do it.
I'm not gonna listen to you anymore. Okay, good.
So and then that happened, and it was the next day they announced they were gonna do the lottery, and they said, well, everybody, just so you know, we're doing a lottery. If you've got in through brown paper tickets, they're like, please don't enter the lottery because one, you got your beer, and two, like brown paper tickets, you have to like bring your IDs attached to like it's just like any Ticketmaster thing. You have to provide proof of identity and all that shit. And your credit card has to have your name on it, yada yada yada. They're like, we're gonna cross-reference all the entries with you have to be, if you enter. Hold on, get my line of thought correct here. If you enter the lottery, you can't have somebody else pick it up. It has to be you. And if you enter the lottery and we have your list in brown paper tickets, we're just going to remove your email address. So I was like, man, which is fair, which is totally fair. But I was like, if I own this fucking brewery, I'd absolutely go through all the comments and find everybody who said you lost me as a customer and remove their name from the fucking lottery. Absolutely. Because I'd be like, hey, because that person who said you lost me as a customer, it was the first fucking person to enter the fucking lottery. You know what I mean? Absolute first person to enter the fucking lottery.
Without a doubt.
So it's like, you just want to fucking strangle people, man. Fucking hate them. Anyway. Was that like a 20-minute rant about me yelling about Kane people?
Yeah, actually it was, and you keep it going for another minute, but it's more of a topic. I think this is going to start happening. This is going to happen more and more. You're going to see this every time a brewery becomes popular, to the point of where people are going to start lining up for their beer or actively searching for their beer and driving X amount of miles for their products. You're going to see these people who feel like they're owed something, you know. If I go to Firestone Walker, if I have a vacation planned and I'm going to California and I want to hit up Firestone Walker and they're doing a bottle release that day and I don't get any of the beer, Firestone Walker doesn't owe me shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they don't owe me a goddamn thing because I didn't get any of the beer. Like, there could have been a million other factors. Like, I didn't get there in time. They just ran out of bottles. You know, there's a lot of stuff that can go into this. But the fact, like, on that same note, they're not going to then lose me. I'm not going to say you've lost me as a customer, hoping that they're going to turn around and try to give me something because they don't want to lose me as a customer. Because that's what those people are trying to do. They're trying to get Kane to then turn around and go, no, we've got this now, and maybe you can get some in this way.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're doing, and it's another, like, Kane doesn't fucking owe them that.
Nope.
They don't. Not at all. And that's the same thing with my Firestone Walker, just analogy. They don't owe no brewery unless you work there, unless you're the family, unless you, like, are an investor in that company and you have a personal stake in it. They don't owe you anything.
Yeah, the only people that are entitled to a beer there is a person who can walk behind the bar and not ask if they're allowed to go behind the bar. Those are the only. Like, you think about it, like that. Like, it would be whoever, family owned, workers, owners, whatever. If the person's like feels that they can walk into the fucking cordoned off area without asking if permission, those are probably the people that are fucking. They're allowed. They're entitled to whatever. But other than that, it's just a bunch of bullshit. But it's gonna have to come to. They're gonna have to make like a fucking club, just like everybody else. Because as much as the clubs suck, they actually on a purely, like, from an outside, from, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. They are a good thing in theory.
They are. It does, in theory. You should have enough beer for club members. And then maybe if you did a bunch of it, extra beer for general public. You know, that's like the ideal kind of situation. Or in the case of the brewery, you know, you have a lottery system to get it, and if you get in, you get in. You don't. There you go.
Yeah. So it's like they're gonna have to. Like, they're gonna have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, depending on how they fashion it, there's a lot of clubs that are done right. There's some that try to make money off the club. I don't think that's a good thing. But there's a lot of clubs that are like, okay, the club's $500, but you get all that back in beer and merchandise. You know what I mean? Actually, probably make $1 or less than they probably make less because they probably give you shit at like a slight discount. So you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with. Again, it's gonna weed out some people that quote unquote should get the beer. There's some people who don't have $500 just to throw at a fucking club and kind of buy their beer more a la carte. So that sucks for those people that are just as feverish of a fan or someone that would be enticed to the beer. But it's, you know, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, they'll have to resort to some bullshit like that. And, you know, because you actually, like, the places are much bullshit like that from the brewery anymore because they've gotten their club system down to the point where it's just like people just accept it. That's the way it is. And the fact that they have their Black Tuesday raffle, which I did this year, and they throw to, okay, you don't have fucking membership or you can't afford it, then enter this get shit without having to pay the whatever amount of money it costs to be in this fucking society.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice kind of. This is a nice kind of tie-in, like or lead off from last week's episode, talking about like bottle societies and barrel clubs and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. What else we got news-wise? Anything else? I'm trying to think.
Breaker just released their first barrel-aged beer.
Barrel-aged beer. I drank it last night. It was nice. I enjoyed it. It's spent enough time in the barrel for the beer that was in the bottle, which was nice. I'd be curious next time I talk to them, be like, I don't think they tweaked the recipe at all. I think I just took a beer that they're comfortable with and kind of threw it in the barrel.
Yeah.
I could see them going
like
forward.
A bigger, like kind of Christmassy release for them, and did like a variant, like a different version of it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do anything else going forward. Like the person who got them in the barrel actually texted me today. He's like, "Oh, how was it?" And I was like, "It was nice." And he's like, "I'm surprised they used that one." He thought they were gonna put Black Mariah in it. That's kind of
been
like
interesting to see.
But I think it worked out well. It was a nice little foray into a little bit of barrel aging. And Breaker, they do nice beers, really nice beers. So for them to do it and it comes out nice is nice. But like I said, I don't think it was a beer brewed for a barrel. I think they just threw one in there. There's a big difference.
Yeah, it's our two things. I think we should talk about. We should do like an episode on that. Just the opposite of like brewing, just having something and tossing it in a barrel, and brewing something for a barrel.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'd be interested to try some of it, honestly.
So, I mean, I don't think I'll be drinking the other one for a little bit. I'll wait till you're around. I actually have a couple of them come in, so there you go. Yeah, I'm saving that, and I'm saving that Sam Adams that double IPA that they came
Rebel
out.
Raw or something.
Yeah, the Rebel Raw. I'm trying to think. There's one other story I think that I wanted to touch on, but I'm slipping my mind as of right now. So there you go. End of stories. So what are we going to talk about today?
So today, this was another topic that the Brew God or Dave the something. He changed
now
his name
Dave the Brew God.
Dave the Brew God.
Used to be the Brew God. Yeah.
Yeah. This was another one that he gave to me because he's thank you, Dave. You're the only person who ever fucking responds to this because apparently we live in a world now where you can look at a question and just like it, and then just move the fuck on, and then not interact.
Quick fucking interjection here.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I fucking wrote on Facebook, I need a chiropractor. Well, 2 people answered. Like 20 people liked it.
Yeah, that's my fucking point.
What?
Like, yeah.
Why are you liking? I'm asking you, like, what? Why are you doing this? Share it. That'd be cool. Then people see it, and then maybe they can answer.
More people, maybe.
But, yeah. But like it, like, or even like people are retarded. Even like when I read the thing from 3 Guys in a Beard, the first thing I looked at was likes. Like, who the fuck likes this? Like, why would you like this post?
Like 38 people did. The last time I looked at it was like 38 people. Like, you were like, really? Like, no.
Yeah, you're cheers to your demise, guys. You know what I mean? Like, why would you like that?
Fuck yourselves. Your business is closing. I'm gonna like it.
Yeah,
That should have 0 likes.
No, yeah, it's like fucking. What are you fucking liking it for? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so this was another one from Dave, the Brew God. And it's kind of what he pitched it as. What kind of drinker are we? And I took it in 2 different ways. So our first topic is going to be kind of like social or solo, drinking in a group or drinking by ourselves. And we're both beer reviewers, so I think we're going to have like a fairly I don't know. We might have a fairly similar thing to say about that. Then we're going to be reviewing Founder's Dirty Bastard. And then the second way I split that up is quality versus quantity. And just giving an example, times where we just kind of want a beer and we don't care what it is. Like we just want a beer. Yeah. So who's leading?
I don't care.
I'll lead. I am very much more like, if I'm drinking, I'm more of a like social kind of person. Like I want to be with my group of friends, having a couple of beers, listening to music, playing board games, like that's kind of our gathering, and that's kind of like we're unwinding like that from school week, whatever. On the other hand, reviewing, when I did video reviews, granted I wouldn't finish the beers typically because I wanted to do a few in a night and be relatively fresh for each one, and not have like a good review, heading downhill, really downhill, we've crashed and burned. Like I didn't particularly want that, especially when I was doing reviews by myself.
Yeah.
So I typically would have a few sips of the beer, give my impression of it, and then usually dump it out and move on to the next one. Now with writing, I can really take my time. So where I would do maybe 5 video reviews in an hour with when I did videos, I can take, if I have literally nothing else to do, I can take all day and write up some reviews and actually drink the whole beer, but have an hour gap because I don't feel like I'm on any kind of schedule, and I can really like sit and actually get the full, if I really wanted to, I could get the full remark, like the full, my full thoughts on a beer out in one session and actually finish it. So I haven't done that because that thought actually just came to my mind when I was thinking of stuff for this episode. But yeah, that's kind of how, like, and also beer school, like we just did an assignment last night where we were running through different samples of beers and giving, a flavor, kind of like a flavor analysis, like fruity, hoppy, floral, spicy, malty, all that kind of shit, and ranking them. And that's not even drinking for enjoyment. And that's kind of what beer school is. It's like we at one point drank for enjoyment, and now we're like, I'm in the sensory class at like 8:30 in the morning, and we're like, why, like, fucking all of these beers are terrible. What's going on now? And I'm now going off on a tangent. I'm gonna pack it in, but for the most part, I would say I'm way more of a social kind of drinker. Like I am, like technically right now I am by myself. There's no one here, but I'm talking to you. So.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like what I am, I'm probably a bit of everything, to be perfectly honest with you. I drink alone, not a lot. No, I guess to say a decent amount, not just to get reviews in, because sometimes there's just not people around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's more like you said, like with doing it, it's like I usually, when I do reviews, it's like, it's not like I'm like do a review, drink a beer, do a review. When I do reviews now, I do a review, do the review, put that beer to the side. I don't dump it out because it's fucking beer and I'm not an asshole. But and then I'll just pop off like 2 or 3 reviews in a night, and then I'll finish those beers. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. Like a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're drinking alone." You know what I mean? It's so sad and depressing. Be like, "Go fuck yourself," because I can care less. You know what I mean? But I prefer to drink with groups, not big groups. But like at least a couple of people, even review wise, I probably prefer doing a group collaboration reviews more than just single reviews. I mean, they're both fun, but I like that because
how I was as well.
It's fun to bounce shit off other people. Yeah. But I mean, like, I rarely go out to bars now. It's just not cost effective. Do you know what I mean? Like, good beer is pretty fucking expensive. So I mean, you know, you're talking about you don't want to drop fucking $20 in a bottle, or if you go drink it at a fucking bar, unless it's Sabatini's, then you're probably gonna pay $30 to $35 for that $20 bottle. Well, the $20 bottle is already fucking too expensive to begin with. I don't want to fucking mark it up anymore. So typically, you're gonna see drinking outside of a bar. Typically, go over a friend's house, whether it's going to your house or going to George's house or people coming over here. It's, you know, but I usually like to keep it small if I can. I usually don't like I do like. Actually, let me rephrase that. I like to talk about beer while I'm drinking beer. So it's like you have a lot of people, like in a group that really have not much to say about the beer. So they'll be like just kind of yammering about randomness, which is just whatever. I don't care. It's not like I get pissed off at it. But I like to actually talk about the beer. So when I'm in groups of people like you or fucking, you know, Brad or George or whoever, and you actually talk about the beer, it doesn't have to be all about the beer all the time, but it's just not. I'm not just drinking it to get drunk. Like I want to enjoy it and talk about it. So,
well, there's that like there's the kind of like you first open a beer, you all get your kind of impressions on it. And then you kind of start going off on other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, if you're still all working on that beer, you're like, oh, wow, this has really changed over the 20 minutes that we've been sitting on this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's
I mean...
kind of like...
So, I mean, like, I would say I probably drink more solo only for beer reviews. Like, there's sometimes even, like, I have to, but there's, like, sometimes where I feel like I have to do a beer review. So then I'll just be like me, like I had like you're like, oh, you don't have to do a beer review. I'm like, well, you know, sometimes, you know, I get a beer and it's just released and I want to fucking put it up, or it's from a brewer I really like, or there's I did this review the other day. Funky Buddha sent me a beer that it's called their Undefeated Saison. It's a Saison, basically an homage to the 72 Dolphins. That the 72 Dolphins went undefeated, and it's a beer that they made kind of honoring that. And they're not going to release it until the first team in the NFL loses this year, or the last team in the NFL loses. So it's like the last undefeated team loses. And the Carolina Panthers are undefeated. So I got the beer Friday afternoon, and I had work the next day. Oh, no, it was Saturday morning, and I get home and I have to fucking review it because next day's the NFL and the team is one undefeated team, so they might lose. Like, and I told him, I'm like, oh, I'm like, what I'll do is I'll record it, upload it, and I'll put it, to release it right when that team loses. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like kind of like, hey, so I'm like, and now I'm forced to do this review, and it was like one of the worst reviews I ever did because I kind of felt like I had to do it. You know what I mean? It was a really good beer. I enjoyed it, but so there's like stuff like that. But yeah, and there's like some reviews where like it's funny, and like in a lot of the reviews, not a lot, but a decent portion of them, there's people there. They just don't want to be in the review, and you probably dealt with that too. There was like, I don't want to be in it, so you're like doing a review, and then when you're done, everybody drinks. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's just funny.
Like I've had video reviews where it's like one person is on camera, and then I always pitch to the group. I'm like, do you want to be in the review? And they're like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm like, all right, fuck you then. You know, whatever. But when I was doing video reviews, I would limit myself to only opening 12-ounce bottles. I wouldn't go higher than a 12-ounce. Maybe in the case of like Weisstefano or something, they have like the bigger, like sort of bigger bottles, but that's also a lighter beer. So I would do one of those by myself. That's fine. But I wouldn't usually do a bomber or like a 750 bottle by myself. I would leave that. So I was sitting on like a lot of beers that I really want to review, but I couldn't get enough people in. And that was actually like a really good part about like you starting to do reviews. And I'm like I have an outlet now to review the beers that I want, and I can open a bomber. Like I can bring them over to Matt's house, or like Matt can come over to my house, and like we could do some reviews and actually get this shit done. You know, like I'm sitting on a bunch of shit, and I really want to do this stuff. You know.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, actually, and that's the weird thing. There's like there are beers that I save because I want to review them, but I want to review them with somebody else, or I told somebody I'd share it with them, but it has to be reviewed. So I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to share this with this single person, but it also has to be reviewed. So I'm just going to sit here and not drink it for a really long time because that person's never going to come over my house and fucking review it. But I have no problem especially ever since I found those little like fucking bottle top stopper things I use. I have
those things are great.
I have no qualms about opening the 750 because I'll just like for example, I think I did the other day I did a Council Brewing's Beatitude, and I just put a fucking stopper in it after a glass and then drank it 2 days later. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I'll just like open it now and then it's good for a couple days. I don't have to worry about drinking the whole 750 in one night. Yeah. And which I don't mind. Like I cracked a fucking chocolate manifesto the other night and drank it to my fucking head. I don't give a fuck. I'll drink a 750. But there's some beers I don't want to do that with, and typically like sours. No, I just kind of I want to about 8 to 10 ounces and then I'm good. You know.
Yeah, really.
And sours are almost exclusively fucking 750s. It seems like.
Yeah, with like the exception.
Or with the 500 mils.
Like, yeah, with the exception of like Tart Nouveau and Telltale Tart, those are some of the only ones that I've seen that are like American-made ones.
Yeah, but those are also 4 or 5% beers too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the sours are bigger and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, general. You know what I mean? Like I'm just I'm all over the place. Like I have no problem. I love going out and having a good time, partying, going to a bar, hanging out with a ton of people. That's fun too. But that's more financials than anything else. Like I just I can't be fucking around like that. You know. That's all I got, man. I think that's all I got in that particular portion of the subject. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed that I can add to that.
Yeah, let me see if there's anything else that I can add. Yeah, I mean, when I'm in my group now, like there's a difference. You brought this up as well, just like wanting to talk about the beer apart from saying, yeah, this is good. You know, like I want more substance to the beer conversation, and I think that's one thing that I'm gonna miss. I'll still have it, but just having like a regular group of people to just sit around and like talk beer with, you know, on like, you know, I'm going from being around, you know, other, and not just beer, like talk like brewing stuff, you know, or I'm going from like doing this for a year now to like I'm going home, and now to do that I'm like I have to get back into like I'm gonna get a job. Like that's what my like talking brewing is gonna be. It's gonna be like an official job now, which is fine, which is what I want. It's why I'm up here. But I made this assessment a little while ago. You never wanted in our group up here. This is people that are in my program, in my class specifically. You know, you never wanted to be the very first beer that we had. Because if it's a little off or, you know, something's a little funky with it, we will tear it the fuck apart, you know. Whereas, you know, we're a couple beers in, we could have a shit beer and be like, yeah, this is fine. Like, it doesn't really taste like this, but it's okay. And then the next day we'll be like, that beer was fucking horrible. Why did we say it was okay? Like, it didn't taste anything like it said on the label. You know?
Yeah.
But like the first thing that we ever drink just gets fucking torn to shreds. It's not even like BJCP bullshit. It's just like our own, like, wow, this is really poorly brewed. Like, this has all this stuff in here. How did this go out the door? You know?
Bunch of fucking, bunch of jerks. It sounds like
bunch of fucking know-it-alls is what we.
Okay. Ready for review time?
Yeah, let me go grab the beer. Let me also check on my laundry real quick. I'm
checking on the laundry.
I'm washing my my bed sheets and stuff.
So Joe and myself are going to be reviewing Founders Dirty Bastard. I actually don't know if I have a review of this on my channel. I might already. I forget if I do. Let's see if I did. I think I gave. If I do have a review, I don't know if it's this or Old Curmudgeon. I think it might be Old Curmudgeon I had on there. Let me look it up real quick. But we're going to be reviewing this. This is their Scotch Ale, Wee Heavy Ale. I haven't had this in a while, actually. Just because I don't know. Something about it, just I never pick it up. Let's see. And it is 8 and change, I think. ABV is, okay, 8.5%, 50 IBUs. So good it's almost wrong. Dark ruby in color and brewed with 7 varieties imported malts, complex and finish with hints of smoke and peat, paired with malty richness and a right hook of hop power to give it that attitude that a beer named Dirty Bastard has to live up to. Ain't for the wee lads. So let's see. When's the last time you had this?
A long time ago. Going on a few years now. How about you?
I did review this. I reviewed this just a bit over a year ago, actually. And I think I probably shit on it, to be perfectly honest with you. Cool. It's been, actually that might be the last time I had it. It is October of last year. What date is yours?
Okay, Amanda and I did a like side-by-side review of this and the Wee Heavy from Sam Adams.
Okay. What's your bottle on date?
I can't find it.
It's in the middle of the back label.
Middle of the back label?
Yeah, mine has a date right in the middle part right there.
I don't have a middle part.
Like right here.
Yeah, I don't have a middle part.
Let me see the back. I can't see it. Talk. Say something.
I can't. There's no middle. There's no back part to this.
Okay,
label.
So you either your label fell off, or is this one of your older bottles?
It's probably an older bottle because let me see the sides of the spin your bottle around a little bit. Okay, I have a different label because you have all the government warning stuff on that back label. The government warning things
is on the side.
The deposits and all that kind of stuff is on the side of the label for me.
Okay. What about up top? Is there a date up here? Do you have this thing?
The neck was peeling off, so I just actually.
Yeah, it might be because that's where they put the dates on some of their bottles.
They usually do that on some of the ones that have vintage dates.
Yeah.
That's okay. Where
that's yours is old. There you go.
Yeah, it probably is. I bought it at least a month or two ago.
Oh, you bought it a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't something rough in your basement, is what you're saying.
No, I bought this in the. This was in the Wegmans Mix-a-Six.
Up here?
I don't know. A couple months ago when I was heading back, I bought a bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay.
The list that I sent you of beer, that was all Mix-a-Six stuff.
Chances are it's going to be last year's version then, because I bought this at Wegmans, so.
Okay.
They might have just added this back part and did all that. to this year's batch.
Probably.
Maybe I don't know if this is a year-round offering. I'm not sure.
I believe it is. Yes.
So here you go. Nice, clear. It's actually super clear if you can actually hold up to some light. It's nice mahogany.
Mine's actually pretty like.
Yeah, I'm
cloudy. It's not like super.
It's not clear.
Super see-through. Not really. No.
Yeah. See the up here, I can't really see much of anything. Down here, where I can actually gets a little thinner, I can actually see. With you using a fucking retarded glass, that's the same thickness throughout. You know, it might. It might. Your retarded glass.
My glass that I got for $1 at Walmart.
I bought this tulip at the dollar store last weekend for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anybody who wants tulip glasses.
I wanted some like old fashioned like rocks glasses. That's why I bought these.
Anyway. I definitely get that smoked malt on there, I'll tell you that much. It says on mine peat smoked. I'm not getting much peat. I'm definitely getting the smoked malt off of it. I'm getting a nice rich kind of like.
Oh wait, here I got a bottle date now. 8/11/2015.
Really? That's weird, man. That different of bottles. Yeah, because mine's 8.
I just noticed it. It's like it's right here, right up on top of where it says Scotch style ale.
That's really weird because my bottle yours is 8/11/2015. Mm-hmm. Mine is 9/2/2015. So somewhere between those 3 weeks of difference, they fucking changed the label.
I mean, it's not unrealistic that like this label, they just phased out all these labels, and by the time you got that one, they had all the new labels on. You know, because
but the chances of that happening is pretty slim.
Not really. I mean, when Weyerbacher was phasing out all of their old labels, their labeling machine was still hooked up with old Mary Monk labels.
And I understand that, but it's Weyerbacher. Do you know what I mean? Like the chances of us.
I mean, you have that being that close. Yeah, that's really weird. That they.
That's what I'm saying. Like that they're like only 3 weeks.
And then the new stuff was put in, but
yeah.
But like
anyway,
for a brewery, unless you have to like get something new approved, and like they really need to just redo their old labels to the point of where their new labels and their old labels are barely the same thing anymore, then you're going to see like the phase out and then the new stuff gets put in a couple weeks after.
Yeah. But for this, man, I'm getting a smoked malt. I'm getting a ton of caramel. Not even caramel. It's more like it's almost like caramel malted balls. And I'm getting like a cherry syrup, like almost like a.
I was gonna say I'm getting a lot of cherry.
Yeah, I'm getting it's like a super. This smells like really dense and thick. It reminds me of like a Score bar or like a fucking Heath bar or something like that. It's very, and that smoked malt is pretty cool. So yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
So let's dive in, baby.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, that's way better than I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit thin. The hop is cool because it's hopped, but it tastes like it's super like English hop, like super fucking.
Yeah, it's very like it's a very spicy hop.
It's very herbally, very tea like hop, like very earthy, herbally kind of fucking hop. It's not like it's not citrus, it's not pine, it's just earthy.
It's really good. It's not super thin, and I don't know. I feel like my bottle has a fair amount of body to it. I don't know. That's weird.
It's not. It's not thin. I'm not calling. It's a bit thin, thinner than what I want it to be.
Okay.
Typically, the wee heavies that I covet, like whether it be Ale Smiths wee heavy and stuff like that, tend to be a little bit on the denser side of things as
Okay.
opposed to this. Not that it's thin; it's just thinner. It's like somewhere between like somewhere just north of a porter. It's like almost has like a creamy
Yeah,
kind of fluffy mouthfeel
see
to it,
that.
but it's like somewhere it's like I don't know, somewhere north of a nut brown ale, somewhere kind of north of a porter. I don't know, but it's good.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest complaint I have is the body, and I'm only saying that is because I'm actually digging it. I'm really interested. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go back and watch my old review and see how much I shit on it, because I'm almost positive I shit on it.
Yeah, it would be neat to see the. I might actually watch it as well and see what you thought.
I probably gave it. Honestly, I probably gave it memory. See how good my memory is.
Ooh,
82, I think, is what I gave it.
82. You're saying? All right.
And I think I gave it an 82. And I probably said because of the hop, even though I don't traditionally like a big hop presence in my, I was probably rating more towards style, maybe at that point or something. But
Yeah.
Would I call this a wee heavy? Sure. Do you know what I mean? Like it's an Americanized version of one. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's not super hop forward, but granted, our bottles are pretty old, so the hops. Maybe you had a
I think this has a decent amount of hops going on. I just think it's that earthy herbal hop is just not what we would consider really hop forward because it's not juice or citrus or pine.
Yeah,
it's very English hopped. It's a cool beer. I fucking dig it though. I'm going to tell you that much.
Yeah, I really like it. I would definitely. I think I have one. I have one that's fucking old as the hills at this point. I want to see what that.
I want to try it with you, man, because I honestly think this might age like a maniac.
Yeah.
That caramel in the nose, it was like super big and nice nougaty candy kind of caramel going on. I fucking dug it. So yeah, I mean, it's something like, is it one of the better wee heavy Scotch ales, whatever you want to call it, I've had? No, but it's, it's definitely not even close to the worst. Bad. It's not, it wouldn't be in my list of my favorites only because I've had really ones that are exceptional. Let's put it that way. It's not, would I buy it again? Actually, yeah, I might go buy some just to age them out to see what happens. It's, I know, did you get it in the mix of 6, right?
I did, yeah.
Let's actually do that. I've never done this before. Is it one of the better non-mistake mix of 6 offerings I can pull out of a Wegman mix of 6? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think what
like beers that you would expect to kind of be in a mix of 6. They could be outside of a mix of 6, but they're not like out of place.
Every now and then, like I've pulled like crazy beers out of mix of 6, like Chimay Blues and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like this Trogs Troganator, Lagunitas Brown Sugar, what other ones would I see in a mix of 6? I'd be like if the mix of 6 of Wegmans frustrates me because if they had the beers I'm listing off right now constantly in their rotation, I would constantly pull them out of there. Try to Old Chub.
Yeah.
See, I put Old Chub in front of this. I think. Actually, I'd like to get an Old Chub and mix it with this and see what happens.
I don't actually know if I've ever had Old Chub.
Really? I love that beer. It's like one of those. It's fun. I love that beer. It's a wee heavy. Do you know what I mean? It's more.
Yeah.
It's more. That's more not as smoky, a bit more richer and like sweetness, and the body on that is like fucking. The non-nitrodized version is crazy, fluffy creaminess. When you get the nitro one, actually, I prefer the base one over the nitro one because I think the nitro one, the base Old Chub is such a great mouthfeel beer already. And then whenever the
nitro doesn't particularly do anything for it.
Well, dude, nitro actually inhibits flavor. Like it'll help contain, it'll help strip. It doesn't strip flavor, but you just don't taste as much. So I think it's perfect the way it is. So when you throw it in nitro, it just kind of loses something. So, but yeah, Yeah.
Guinness Nitro IPA.
Oh,
I didn't try that.
did you
yet.
drink it yet? I was just about to
I
ask
didn't
you about
try it
that.
yet.
I was about to
I
ask you
didn't
about
try
that.
it yet. I have to. I might try it later.
Yeah,
later
it's
on
a
this week.
red hot mess of something. So yeah, it's a cool beer. If you like what we like this, Old Chub. So
Yeah.
if you like wee heavies,
Other beers. Yeah.
if you like wee heavies, but you want them to lean smoky, not peaty. I'm not really getting much peat out of this, thank God, because if I did, I
No,
wouldn't
not
like
at all.
it. Not like that one. What was that? Was that Church Key? Is that the peat smoke moss one that we had? That was
Holy smoke!
Holy smoke from Church Key. Was it Church Key?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Church Key. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like eating fucking dirt.
Yeah, just like drinking a peat bog.
Yeah, fuck that noise. But yeah, it's a cool beer. I'm really I need to re-review this because I'm pretty sure I kind of shit on it. So just goes to show you a couple things. Two, beers change, but also you change. So shit you're gonna like now, you might not like before, and vice versa. Things evolve, palates evolve. And there you go. So what else? What are we talking about now?
Next, we're going. Hold on.
Quality versus quantity.
Quantity. Yeah.
This is a great. I could have a little bit more to say about this one.
Okay.
Because I think you can go ahead first, but yeah.
So even from a very early kind of drinking beer age, because I got into craft beer pretty quickly. I kind of turned 21 and was like, I'm gonna buy good beer. I'm not gonna spend a year or two drinking. I had already done that between going to visit family in Ireland, where I was able to drink, and I got all my drinking crap lagers out of the way over there. And your typical high school senior drinking that we do not condone on this show for responsible alcohol consumption reasons. I kind of went into I bought craft beer very early on, and I think it kind of went hand in hand with the fact that I started reviewing very early. My first beer review was I posted my first beer review 3 days after I turned 21. So I kind of dove head first. So I always looked for new beers, different beers, better beers. And my mom noticed this also very early on, and it was two completely different sides of the coin between myself and my brother. And she said, Joe, if you gave both of us $20, she said, Joe would get the best beer he can get for that $20. And my brother Chris would get the most beer he can get for $20. And that was a big difference between how both of us looked at drinking. And I never I'm not gonna say there weren't times where I'm just gonna get drunk now, but I would I would prefer to get drunk on something that tastes good than just drunk on water, So but there's kind of times where my just having a beer is up here now. If I just want a beer, I'll go to the LCBO and get Naughty Neighbor. That's my I just want a beer to have in the fridge. If I want to pull it out while I'm playing video games on a Saturday, I could just grab it. And that's my I just want beer. I don't want something fancy or something crazy strong. I just want this. Or grass. I drank a lot of Grasshopper over the summer, and that was kind of my my go-to. I just want a beer, but it's also really good. But I'm not like going for something off the wall, you know?
Yeah. You sent me this question. Were you done, or are you just drinking?
I was just drinking, but I think I might be done. So I kind of went in, like, I kind of go into both, like, kind of hand in hand. If I want quantity, I kind of want quality to not be too far off. And there's days that I just want quality too. I just want something really good that I could sit and sip on for a long time versus a good beer that I can session, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I look at it.
You sent me this question, or you sent me the outline for today's thing, and I wasn't feeling it, but I was like, whatever. I'm like, you know, I wasn't in the position of thinking up a subject at the time, and I was like, okay, we'll do it. And I was like, you know, what kind of drinker am I? I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I drink whenever I want. So I'm that kind of drinker. And I was like, quantity over quantity, quality over quantity, or quantity over quality. Which one? I was like, what kind of fucking question is that? I'm like, of course, quality.
Yeah.
But then I started to think about it. And I think it's a really fucking good subject to talk about. I could probably talk about this for a long time. Because of this. Because I think that's what most people, when they hear that question, they go, oh, quality versus quantity. Of course, I would pick quality over quantity every day of the week.
Of course, like, especially listening to something like this, like, of course, the two beer reviewers who do a podcast are going to go quality, you know?
Here's the thing, though, and this is where I think this is where I think that whole equation becomes a different, more complicated, and more in-depth and more multi-fucking-layered equation, is when you go quantity versus quality divided by cost. Because if it's a matter of quantity versus quality, dude, I'll drink fucking batch 16 $20 375s of fucking La Trappe all day long. That's if I could. But I can't spend $20 on a 375 a case of that all the time. I would love to drink fucking, you know what I mean, all these beers. Like, I would love to drink, you know, Older Viscosity and fucking Angel Share. Yeah. That's what I want to drink all the time. Yeah, I want to pay fucking $20 for 12.3 ounces. No.
Yeah.
So I think the quantity over quality thing, actually, a lot of beer people battle with that, and they don't even consciously know it. Obviously, I'm not going to pick up a 30-pack of fucking Schlitz Ice.
I didn't take in, like, you brought up a really good point of doing that over cost. I didn't even think of that. That's like...
Yeah, that's immediately what, after I thought about how I would answer it, that's immediately what came to my mind, is that actually, I think, and like I said, if you were to ask any beer person, they would immediately be like quality over quantity. But then when you break it down, because that's like I buy shit just to buy shit to review it. So there's that aspect of it. But strip that away from it. There's a lot of times, like right now, I'm fucking, you know, my job's slow. I'm in between fucking trying to find a new job. I'm fucking poor as fuck. I'm hitting the fucking Mix-a-Sixer. I want to buy all the fucking 4-packs and singles of the awesome shit, all this stuff. I want to drink all this all the time. Yeah. This is all the stuff I want inside my belly, but I can't. You know what I mean? I can't afford it, and I can't do it. So I have to compromise, and I have to go with quantity over quality, because that's what I'm doing. I could buy one singular bottle of fucking whatever for $20 or $15. Yeah. Let's say 15. Or no, even better. Let's say 12. I could buy one singular bottle of some beer for $12, or I could buy a sixer of really nice beers at the Mix-a-Six for fucking the same price. So I'm picking quantity over quality right there. I am. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's literally what I'm doing in that moment. So it's like a weird thing, but it's like again, this would come in like a typical Mix-a-Sixer.
At the same time, those that's 6 beers. It's not like
trash.
Shock Top. 'cause
Yeah,
Shock Top's
yeah.
fucking in Mix of Six all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
It's not Shock Top and Blue Moon.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, where it's still quantity over quality, though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like a wheelhouse Mix of Six from Wegmans for me would be right now. Let's just say, what are these? Old Chub, Troganator, Left Brown, a fucking Lagunitas little something, and then let's see, something new. That's you. I usually want to do a mix of singers, something I never have. That's kind of usually how I roll. So it's like it's that. But if you said, hey, you could have that mix of six, or you can have a mix of six of any beers in this whole fucking place. Doesn't matter if it's in a mix of six or not. I would absolutely pick that mix of six over the designated mix of six. So there is this battle of quantity versus quality that goes on that people don't even know it. You know what I mean? Because it's like I go in a bottle shop. I'm not fucking, I'm not independently wealthy and fucking endless money. So I'm not like I've passed beers over all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Because it's just the price point is just out of what I can fucking fuck with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a cool kind of dynamic to think about. Like, where does it end? Like for me, you know what I mean? Like, where does money, how much money you have in your life plays a lot, because if you're fucking rich as a motherfucker, you probably don't even think about that shit. But it's a cool.
I noticed that about myself. Like, I noticed coming up here and like really not having a job and like, just kind of getting help from my parents, versus when I was working at the hospital and I had a job I would work there, and then I had a job over the summer. It was like a teacher's aide kind of thing. Like 2012, I had fucking tons of money apparently, because I'm looking through my beer cellar. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, all these beers are from fucking 2012.
Yeah.
And then like now I'm like, $2.50 for that can is like real fucking good right now, and that's actually not a shit beer either. Like that's.
And honestly, like that's like the whole like, because I've been doing it from day one. Like I've always been like, I when I was rating my beers by number, and even now when I don't rate them by number, I still go over availability and value. You know what I mean? Like that's like value's always been a thing to me, because there's like, like a Kane anniversary beer cost me $16. Do you know what I mean? And that to me is just as good as a brewery $30 anniversary beer. So like, you know what I mean? What the fuck am I? And that, if you give me that option, I'm gonna go Kane 99% of the time. Same thing. Like I have that like cheap Hall of Fame stuff, like Troganators on it, Spot and Optimators on it. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's a little something extra, or not a little something extra. Fucking brown sugars on it. There's all this like cheap beer Hall of Fame I have of like good beer that's just priced really. You can pretty much put all Lagunitas beer on that list. Price wise, not just quality wise, but there's good stuff that's cheap, but there's so many good there's beers that like every now and then, this is like kind of when you're like, sometimes you just want to have a beer and you don't care what it is. I actually go the opposite. Sometimes, it doesn't happen that fucking often, but sometimes I'll go into a bottle shop and I'll be like, I'm drinking that fucking beer tonight, even though I shouldn't fucking pay that money for that fucking beer. And I'll do it. The last one was the reason why I said older viscosity, like the fucking Lost Abbey fucking Port Brewing fucking price point kills me. They put those super thick fucking bottles, and there's 12.3 ounces in them, and they charge you $20. And I'm like, that's fucking retarded price wise. But then like one night I was in the local bottle shop and I was like, I want an older viscosity in my life tonight, and I don't care. I'm drinking it. That's what's happening. It's going down. You know what I mean? Like
this is happening right now.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It's happening. Just let it happen. So it's like that's kind of like mine. Like the whole I just want a beer. I get that too. That's more like summertime shit for me, because I'm out I'm out doing something.
Yeah.
I'm golfing. I'm doing whatever. But especially in the winter, it's just like I'll get this butt, and it's not often. Like I said, the older viscosity was probably about maybe like two months ago, maybe give or take. But it's like every now and then I'm like, I need one of these beers, and I need it now, and I'm just gonna go to some place and I'm gonna get a good. When I say a good beer, and then it's a very subjective term, but it's just like I just want that flavor that you can only get from that super rich, over the top fucking beer, and yeah.
I mean, I went through a pretty long kick of drinking that Kostritzer Schwarzbier.
That's a good. That's probably that might be the best Schwartz
good
beer.
Stuff. Yeah,
it's
like honestly, it's arguably like one of the best lagers I've ever had.
It's the best Schwartz beer I've ever had. If you omit like over the top ones, like Sammy Claus makes a Schwartz beer now. It's not a fucking Schwartz beer. It's like calling a Sammy Claus Classic a Doppelbock. It's not a fucking Doppelbock. It's Sammy Claus. You know what I mean? So they make Sammy Claus Schwartzes. They say it's a Schwartz beer. Again, by definition, Schwartz beer means black beer. You know what I mean? So if you want to get technical, you know what I mean? I know there are style points to it. I'm just trying to be funny, but yeah, it's probably one of the better ones. Actually, I had that on Hand Pump in like probably about 2 years ago on Hand Pump in fucking in like the proper glassware from the brewery and shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, it was the first time I ever had it. That's probably why I liked it so much, because it was just like Hand Pump in the glass itself. I was like, yeah, man, I can fucking get down with this motherfucker.
That's pretty cool.
So what do you think about the whole thing, cost versus, if you throw cost in the equation?
I mean, I definitely took that into, even when I had like money to spend, there were days where I would pass up stuff. You know, I'm not paying more than, there was the longest time I wouldn't pay more than $25 if it was something. If it was at one of the, like a place that's local to us, you know, any of the, just pick one. Yeah. You know, there's no particular one that I'm not saying right now. I wouldn't pay more than $25 for a bottle. I'm not paying $30. I'm not paying $25-$30 for a bottle of beer. Anything over that. I would do it online. Like I did pay for Firestone 16, and that was like, I think the first time that I got it online, it was like maybe 22. The second time was like 26 or something. I don't know. Then the one time that the time that I actually did this, and I split it with my friend Chris. We bought the Sucre from the brewery. So we went halves on a.
That's what, $29.99 a bottle.
Yeah, it was like $30 a bottle. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And that's what it is. That's the thing. Like, that's like not even a markup thing. That's just how much it fucking costs. You know what I mean? So it's like the Firestone Walker Anniversary at 20. Anything north of 20 is fucking retarded. That's a $16 bottle. That's a $17 bottle. That's what it costs. So when you're paying 22, 26, you're just paying a markup. Like the brewery Sucre, you buy it here, you buy it from the brewery. It's $30. You know what I mean?
Fucking $30. Yeah. Yeah. But there's like there have been like those Cascade sours that are like $40 some, and I'm not like, even at my most flush with cash, I'm not fucking buying those for $40 a bottle. You know. But there's times where I'm just like, let's get some of this stuff. Let's get some old reliables. You know, I think I talked about it on the show. I went through like a beer homesick period when I was up here. I went over to Premier Gourmet and I just fucking bought like Troganator and like Victory. I'm like, I just want this beer that I always took for granted. Yeah, like even going over there, I'm like, I'm fucking spending this much money on on like, there was a bottle. I put a bottle of Crooked Stave into my cart, and like that's not super unreasonably priced, but I'm like, I don't fucking need Crooked Stave right now, and I just wouldn't put it back. Like I don't need this beer.
We talked to we had Weyerbacher on a radio show today, and they got their first big brew system from Victory. I didn't know that. That's why I just said that, just because you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's actually, it was funny because I was like, I was curious. I really wanted to talk to Weyerbacher about what happened with their beers, because their beers sucked and all of a sudden they got good. And they hired the brewer we talked to today. Is the guy they hired, and like 2 years later he became head brewer, and then a year later their beers got good. So I'm like, is this guy a magician? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Or he just knows what he's doing. It turns out he's he was only brewing for a couple of years in California and just got a job. And he didn't go to school for brewing. He didn't do a ton of home brewing. He actually, he said he became a brewer because he went to school for physics, and he was in the tech world, and the whole tech bubble burst, and he had no job. So he just started working as a keg washer in California. And that's how he ended up becoming a brewer. But they also expanded their system and got a more efficient system. That's why their beers changed about that time. So yeah, story done.
Cool. Yeah, that's my whole cost-effective. That's my cost portion of my beer buying, and now I loved. I know I talked about it before, but I loved. When I first moved up here, people were like, how do you like beer prices in Canada? And I'm like...
And they're expecting you to be angry.
Yeah. And I'm like, I fucking love them because they're cheap as shit for like real good beer. Yeah, like we're talking about on the Beer Dweebs thing the other day. Rochefort's are like $3-4 Canadian right now. Yeah. It's like Rochefort 8s or something like that.
A Rochefort 8 in the States, the cheapest you'll find at American, $6-7.
Yeah.
And it's 3 and change Canadian, which means it's 2 and change. Fucking American.
Yeah.
Retarded. Okay?
It means they pay you to take it away in America. That's what it means.
Yeah, you could buy a case of Rochefort single bottle. Like if you bought singly the bottles in Canada and just bought a whole case of them individually, a la carte in Canada, you'd save a crazy amount of money off buying a case in the United States.
Yeah.
That's retarded, dude. Like, think about that. Like price wise, like I'm gonna break it down right now. Let's see. Okay. Seriously, it's just it blows my fucking mind. Okay, let's say it breaks. Let's say it's $2.70. Let's say that's what it costs. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
At $2.75 a bottle of beer. Okay, or Rochefort. 24 bottles would cost you $64.80.
Mm-hmm.
A 12 pack, because that's what they come in the United States, Rocheforts. A 12 pack of Rochefort in the United States is $98. So you get a case in Canada a la carte for $65. You get half of that for $30 more in the United States. In a case. That's retarded.
Yeah,
dude, that's straight up retarded.
That was like.
What happens if you go to Rochefort? What happens if you go to Belgium? What is it, a nickel? Like, what does it cost over there?
Just giving it away for free.
Oh, sorry, no. Is it what's the nickel equivalent of Deutschmark? Like, what the fuck is that?
It would be euros, and I believe there are nickels in euro.
Kreuger? What's that? Isn't there Kreuger? What's a Kreuger?
Didn't even sound like a real thing. But anyway, like even like the Tempest from fucking Amsterdam is like a 9% imperial stout for like $6.25. Like, yes, I will buy that all goddamn day because that's a great fucking value. You know?
Fuck yeah.
And like, Bolshevik Bastard is another 9% Imperial Stout in a 4-pack for $10. Like, that's another one I'll fucking buy all goddamn day.
Just for the sake of clarity, franc. A coin in Belgium is a franc.
Yeah, they probably went off of like Belgium, I believe, is part of the European Union though, so they would be.
No, this is old. This is
old currency.
Yeah, I was going with German. I don't know why. German currency. Let's see what the German.
We're going German currency with the.
I don't know why I was. I said Deutschmark.
Watching Beer Fest a little bit too much.
Un Deutschmarks. Oh, actually, no. Belgium goes by their own currency, I think, because I go to Wikipedia, German currency, and it says German sole currency of Germany has been the euro since 2002. But if I go to Belgium, they don't say that. They might accept the euro, but they also, it's kind of like England, how they have the pound, but they'll accept euros. You know what I mean?
Will they accept it? Like, is there's they probably accept euros, but there's like currency exchange spots like all the fucking like touristy parts of Northern Ireland. Like we went to the Giant's Causeway, and there's like.
I'm talking about the British pound, not the Irish whatever.
Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and they still use sterling.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I thought they had some weird thing like you pay for your beers with one side of the city you pay with Protestant teeth, and the other side you pay with Catholic toenails or something.
One side of the city you pay with crucifixes, the other side of it you just punch people in the face. Now that we've officially gone right downhill, are we done? Or what's going on?
I don't know. Are we done?
Back onto more of a beer thing. The cost is something that I think is very much overlooked with a lot of people, but it's overlooked, but still there, kind of subconsciously. You know, you have like when you're going to get beer. If you're going on a beer haul, you have a budget for yourself, whether it's a fairly liberal budget or something a little bit more like. You know, if it's either I'm not going to buy more than 6 bottles, or I'm going to spend no more than $50. You know, you have something when you're going to buy beer, and you kind of keep that in mind. And some people are better at keeping themselves within that budget than others. You know, you'll see we've all seen the beer that we really want to buy. Like, oh, we've really heard about this beer, but it's this is a little bit too out of our price range right now. Some people will still go and buy that, and that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but other people will kind of keep themselves in their own like constraints. And I'm not saying either method is better or worse than the other, but we've all been there. We've all been on both sides where we've just splurged and bought that bottle that we really wanted, or we've been like, no, I really can't do that today. And I really like, you say it 3 or 4 times as you're looking at the bottle and you're like eyeing it up. Like, really can't do that today. Really can't do that today. Put it back on the shelf. Can't do that today.
Don't be an asshole. Fucking show some self-restraint and just put it down. Put it down. Back away from the fucking bottle, buddy.
Just get back in your car and leave. It's fine.
Jeez. No, I get it. And like I said, like the whole like what kind of drinker are you? I'm whatever drinker I need to be in the situation I'm in. You know what I mean? If I want to have a beer at home, I'm fine with that. If I'm in a group of people, that's cool. If I want to go out to a bar, I'm all about it. I have no qualms about fitting into any of those fucking factions. Quantity over quality, like I said, that's where it kind of gets a little bit different because in a vacuum, it's quality all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean expensive. That's what I'm saying. Because you can get really high quality beers for lower whatever. But when you're talking about throwing money in the mix, then you open your options up. Because then if you're like, okay, you know, like I said, in a vacuum, am I gonna pay $5.99 for a bomber of fucking Lagunitas American old gnarly wine, or am I gonna pay $18 to somebody else for the same, relatively same product? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a thing. Now, in a vacuum, it doesn't matter because I could just be like, which one do I feel like having? Because both will have their own subtle nuance, but not in a vacuum with money involved. You know, the fucking cheaper one. So it is what it is.
Especially for like a Lagunitas, those beers are so cheaply priced that I don't think twice about buying them. It's like it's more of a I don't need 3 of these bottles, even though they're all like $4. Like 2 or 1 or 2 is fine. I don't need like 7. You know, like that's
yeah. How much is
kind of where
like, if Lagunitas a case of how much is a case of Lagunitas in Pennsylvania? Like $20? Like,
I have no idea.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the way pricing goes
Like
here, if they're charging like little like I said, brown sugar, like that we did the age version, which is really nice as a review.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that beer. That's like a $10 sixer, and it's a 10% fucking beer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's a 10% beer that it's like a 10% seasonal release beer. You know?
Yeah, it's retarded. It's like they're just like they live in a different world. It's like I don't know. Anyway,
what if it's they live in the world where this is how beer should be priced?
That's the thing. I've always said it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's not so much that I think Lagunitas is crazy. I think Lagunitas is correct, and we all just accept the other end of the spectrum as what things should be. You know what I mean? No, everything should be like Lagunitas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like even cheaper when you get it around where their breweries are. Like if you get it in like Chicago, it's like they basically pay you to take the bottles away. Like that's how fucking cheap they are. Even like the fucking 32-ounce things of like brown sugar sucks are like $5, like $5-6. You know?
Yeah, it's just retarded, is what it is.
Yeah.
So what else? I mean, we're pretty much done with the topic wise as far as what we're talking about, as far as costs and stuff like that. So you're done with school. What are you doing? You 2 classes. You're done Thursday. In your car Friday. Fuck you, Canada. Done. Right?
Pretty much. Yeah. Come home, unwind a little bit, start putting more resumes and job applications and all that kind of shit out. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Did you apply anywhere else or?
I sent my resume a while back to Prism Brewing. They're like outside of Philly.
I remember you telling.
Yeah, I never heard back from that guy. Then I've always been like meaning to send shit out, and then I just get busy with a million other things that I have to do. You know.
I get it, dude. Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's hard to find fucking. Because the thing is, you just don't want to work wherever. I mean, actually, it wouldn't matter for you. I mean, I'm sure you would take a job at fucking. Actually, I should say this. It's been about a month, but I saw some openings for brewers at fucking Sam Adams in Pennsylvania.
Really?
At their Burnsville, I think it's Burnsville. It's about it's right off the turnpike. Like it's probably about 40 minutes away from here. And because Sam Adams, I think their largest brewery that's their largest brewery. I think is in Pennsylvania. When they sent me, I think it's Brensville. I think is how it's pronounced. And when they sent me the Rebel Raw, that's where they sent it from. And I think they have. I think they're looking for brewers there. That people out there, whatever, fucking Sam Adams, whoever. It'd be awesome to work at a fucking huge fucking pseudo macro brewery, at least for just experience.
Brenningsville.
Yeah, Brenningsville or something.
Yeah, Brenningsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be. I have to. There's a site called Pro Brewer that I'll look on, and I haven't been on it in a while, honestly. But I'll peruse that and see what's out there. I would definitely send my resume out to like Sam Adams or something. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, you want to fucking wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think I actually am going to open up for a little bit. I don't want to be on tonight, but I'm not done talking, so you can go. But we'll do the wrap up just because it works better for the fucking whole podcast when I fucking edit it down. So there you go, guys. Another show in the books. I'll probably open this up after this little spiel. Joe is going to take off, but I'll probably be on for a little bit.
Yeah, I might stay on for just a bit. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I'm
like 8:00.
Yeah, I'm not long for this world. So if you guys enjoyed the show, awesome. Please like, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Comment, send us questions if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any subject matter you'd like to talk about. You can write in the comment section below. If that's not available because YouTube sucks, you can write us at lovebeerradio@gmail.com. Also, for you people out there in the podcasting world on Stitcher and iTunes and the whole like, you can also write us there. If you are on iTunes and Stitcher, please rate, give us those stars and rate and all that bullshit because that shit matters. Let's see what else. If you want to find Joseph or myself anywhere else on the fair internet, you can find me, Matt, Massive Beers, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tapped, all those fun places.
You can find me at nepabeerreviews.squarespace.com. Also, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at nepabeerreviews.
So, yeah, hopefully guys enjoyed today's show. Hopefully enjoy a lot of shows. And, pretty much. Hopefully we see you next time. Cheers.
Yeah. Be sure to tune in next week for a very small Pennsylvania brewery.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to plug that. We're going to be doing next week.
Whiskey Hill Brewing Company.
Next week, we're going to be doing Whiskey Hill Brewing Company, like the epitome, the actual verbiage, the exact nano brewery out of
DuPont, Pennsylvania.
Out of DuPont, Pennsylvania. I've actually, you've never had any of their beer, correct, Joe?
Nope.
Never had any of their stuff, but we're going to hook up this week apparently, and grab some beer from them and do like a little brewery spotlight next Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. So we'll be doing a little brewery spotlight that stuff. We're probably going to do a little going into the new year once we get past the holidays and all that kind of thing. Probably try to mix in. I would prefer if we could swing it to get in one brewery spotlight a month at least, and kind of do now that I'm going to be home and like on a more reasonable schedule, I think that's definitely feasible. And that's the thing. Joe's been away at school, so sometimes it's a little bit harder to coordinate. But now with him coming back, we'll be able to tighten things up a little bit, get shit correct, and kind of get this thing rolling a little bit more fucking routinely at specific times and dates and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely tune in next week. That'll be fun, man. Yeah, it will be. I'm really interested to see what beers we get from them. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like I said, he added me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, the whole nine, and I looked at his stuff. Not much to see because it's just him brewing and then him drinking his beer, so there's not like tasting notes or anything like that involved. Yeah. Not that I expect any of that shit. But yeah, I mean, it looks like, quick look, mind you, he definitely likes dark beers. He's not afraid of dark beers. A lot of people, when they get into stuff, like, don't really lean all that heavy towards dark beers. They usually go a little bit later. So we'll see what happens. I'll have to look into his Untapped. I know he has an Untapped with a list of beers that he's produced. So.
The only thing that I've seen from them is a barrel-aged Imperial Stout.
Which, hey, barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Fuck yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah. Doing that like right out of the gate, go for it.
Yeah. How did you come across him in general? Like
well, it's not just one person. It's a two-person group. The one guy, I don't know what the guy that I've been dealing with, I don't know what his name is, which is great. But the one guy's name is Rob, and so let's see if he didn't sign off anything. No. All right, let's go to their actual page.
Good evening, Beer Zerker.
What's going on?
I can't find anything. Anyway, it was. I think I found them out on Untapped. I think that was the first time that I heard about them. Just people checking in over at Sabatini's, their barrel-aged beer.
Oh, really? It was at Sabatini's?
Yeah, I don't know if they brought in a couple samples for people to try, or what was going on, but that was the first time I saw them. Then I added them on. I followed them on Twitter, and the one day that I was coming back, up here. I'm like, let's shoot them a message and see what happens, and here we are.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. So what's going on, Beer Zerker? What's the word, brother?
Oh, I just did a brewery tour of a new local brewery that's opening, still under construction. We met the head brewmaster there and with the homebrew club and tasted a whole shitload of awesome homebrews and
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time and got to meet the club, so I'll probably be joining in there and a lot of cool guys there. So it's a fun time and I've tried a lot of awesome beers.
Nice.
Oh, what are you guys up to?
How's the beer world treating you up there? You have anything new and exciting?
Yeah, there's lots of breweries opening up in the province here, and I've come across a brewery out of Surrey, British Columbia, that seems to be bringing some pretty badass beers called Russell. Incredible barley wine, awesome Scotch ale. I actually got one in my fridge, but they had one at the homebrew club, so I got to taste it tonight, and it was incredible. I had a lot of really bad Scotch ale, so I was really happy about that. Getting a good one finally, and just because they hired a new brewmaster because they contract brewed at this new brewery that we went to, and they brewed a bunch of shit, so they hired this new guy, and then he's going to be doing some sours and barrel aging and a bunch of awesome stuff he's promising us. So.
Word.
Good for us, Luke.
Nice.
Howdy.
What's going on, Jordan?
Oh, just in my 450th review. This one right over here.
Heaven and Hell.
Nice.
Isn't that Heaven and Hell? Isn't it the same thing as the Hemel and Marde? Isn't it the same thing? It's just different verbiage.
What was it called? Helen Verdomnus, maybe?
Yeah, I forget. Sometimes they're spelled like they're from over there, and sometimes they're Englishized.
Well, this one tastes a lot different, so I'm guessing it's a different beer. Who knows?
Same. It could be an age thing too. You never know.
Yeah.
This is the Robbie James Dio version.
Yeah. And finished that one out way too quick because you would never guess it was 12%, so basically drained it. So looking at Village Brewing's Triple It now.
Is that the triple berry one?
Yeah, Triple Berry Kolsch.
I can't wait to hear your tasting notes on that one.
Where's that brewery from?
Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah, because I see you just got a beer mail with a bunch of that shit in there from that place you buy beer from, right?
Yeah, Liquor Direct.
Yeah, they. I never heard of them before, so I assume they're a Canadian.
Yeah, they only ship to Alberta because Canada's beer laws are messed up. Where a company can't send beer across provincial borders.
Yeah.
So they send it all down to Montana, and then they ship it back to us.
Yeah.
Not just double everything else.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
this
take-
stuff's
I'm gonna take a
alright.
leak. I'll be back in a sec.
Alright. What did you think of it, man?
Well, I was just wanting to hear your tasting notes because I don't want to cloud your mind with the one I got, which was the most bizarre tasting note I've ever got off any beer was off that one. So, are you drinking it right now, or are you about to step
Yeah.
into? I got burnt plastic.
I'm
plastic.
getting a bit of burnt plastic.
Burnt
Really?
plastic, like burnt GI Joe. Burnt circuitry, whatever.
Yeah. In the background a bit, yeah.
Never had that
Just
before.
like I'm not really getting a taste, just an aura kind of burnt plastic.
I thought
like-
if
Yeah.
I'm gonna get burnt plastic, it's gonna be like out of a milk stout or something, not a triple berry Kolsch. But somehow it tastes like burnt
Yeah.
plastic.
Well, that tasting note I find is in lots of berry kind of beers, you know, and Kolsch's.
Perfect storm. Do you
Yeah.
what do you think of Village so far?
I've had their ISA, enjoyed it. Nothing special, and it's okay. Nothing special.
Was it a
Stuff
little
you could drain it. It's
Yep.
stuff you could drain a 12er of, eh? Like just,
Well, yeah, it's drinkable, but I never found it, like I say, not special or anything. I found it a little bit low on the quality side for me. Like I'd rather drink a Wild Rose or something.
Well, yeah, I love Wild Rose. That's one thing. So
Over these guys, Village. I hope they step it up though. I did a brewery tour today. I was just telling these guys about in Lethbridge, the Cooley Brewery.
what beer or what brewery?
Cooley Brewing Company. They changed it because I think Wild Rose. Whose vibrator is that?
Oh, it was Matt.
Okay. Anyway, Wild Craft Brewery had to change their name to Cooley Brewing, and they got a new brewmeister, so they're not doing the contract brew stuff. So we're gonna get some nice beers from them. Met the brewmaster. He promises that he's the shit. So it'll be awesome. I'll have to try and hook you up with some of those when they open in a couple months here. So.
Yeah, excited for that beer mail you're sending me, bud.
Oh, the Curve, yeah.
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 Got a piece of
Your
frickin'
microphone, Matt.
raisin.
Something's buzzing. Or with a connection? Sound connection?
What?
I think one of your cables is buzzing or something.
Everybody else hearing it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, actually, I am hearing a buzzing.
How loud?
It's quieter now. Jordan muted you when you were out there and it quit. I don't know what it is. Maybe the cable going to the rig or whatever.
When did it happen?
Just out of the blue when you're gone, just like on its own, it just like fired up and I'm like, what the hell? Just so then like sounds like a toaster's in the bathtub or something.
You know what? It's an old house. Maybe like the furnace is running or something weird like that. I don't know.
There it's gone.
It's gone.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Suck it up. Don't mute me, motherfuckers. I do the muting. Sons of bitches. Anyway, yeah. So, have any of you guys had any American beers as of late?
Well, yeah, I've been doing that craft beer advent calendar. So, quite a few small breweries from down south.
Which ones?
Let's see here. 40 Beer Company from Alabama.
No idea.
Alabama.
And, of course, Duclaw.
SPJ, baby.
Yep.
Duck Rabbit Brewing out of
Michigan, I think. Wisconsin. No, sorry.
North Carolina.
I'm wrong. Yeah, no, they actually. It's weird. Duck Rabbit was like a bit, like it was got a huge push in this area like years ago, way before craft blew up. But then it seems like they just stopped producing beer. Like they keep producing the same beers. They never made anything new. They just kind of fell stagnant. So.
Oh, shit.
And a lot of their beers are like hop forward, like beers that aren't even supposed to be hop forward are hop forward. It's weird.
Yeah, well, this
That's fairly par for the course for a lot of breweries, though.
Yeah, 'cause they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's true. What were you gonna say, Jordan?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, Iron Fists, stuff like that are in there as well.
Iron Fist is good, man.
AV8.
Couple beers Sorry?
Let's see here.
Have you tried Iron Fist Uprising, Matt?
Yeah. Or, no, I've had their Velvet Glove and their Spice of Life.
I wasn't a really big fan of the Uprising. It was pretty hot. I aged it a year, and it was still pretty juicy.
Now the beer advent calendar you're talking about, is it something that the beer store or the LCBO put together, or is it something you ordered from like a secondary place, or?
Craft Beer Imports out in Alberta here. They always every year put together a calendar, always a different theme. Last year it was international, like beers from like 16 different countries or something like that. Got to try some stuff from like South Africa, some stuff from Israel, stuff like that, and pretty cool this year.
What do they whack you for? Is it per bottle, or is it just like a preset like case?
Per case, it's $125 for 24 beers.
It's not too shabby for a mix a case.
For something like that, too.
And lots of the beers are like strong too, and they're not. Lots of them aren't available in Canada ever, so I think it's worth it. Really good stuff. Lots of them are exclusive beers only to the Craft Beer Advent Calendar. So.
Nice.
Actually, the lady who went on Chad's Women in Brewing hangout, one of the beers that they brewed was specially for that calendar you got, and only available in Alberta in that calendar. So, but I think Nick ended up scoring one though, or something, somehow.
Yeah, well, I think Nick got his in like in that beer mail, the Secret Santa, right?
Oh.
No.
I can't remember.
That and I think they did a brewery-only release, maybe, and then like only at the brewery and only in the calendar kind of thing. But I bought 3 of the calendars, so.
Okay, nice. You have the Phillips one too, though. The Phillips Brewery.
Oh yeah.
Phillips.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah, the Phillips one was awesome. Lots of exclusive beers in that one too.
So, what do you guys think? Did you guys watch any of the show today? And did you?
Oh yeah.
What do you think about the subjects we were talking about, as far as like what kind of drinker are you, as opposed, and the whole quantity versus quality thing? Like, does that matter to you, or like how do you approach it?
When I'm drinking beer, what I like to do is, if I'm doing reviews, I like to take one big-ass bomber of something and sip on that all night and just chill, maybe share it with a friend, but if I'm with like multiple people, I like drinking, let's say, a 6-pack of IPA or ISA, something hoppy and refreshing.
Well, what do you do most? Do you drink alone more than you do in groups? And then
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then, well, you are from fucking Alberta, so that was a dumb question. And that was me trying to be funny. But I'm more interested in the quantity versus quality thing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about that? Like,
Well,
go ahead.
Well, the thing is, it's very sketchy out here because a 6-pack of Budweiser will run me $15-16 a 6-pack, and a 6-pack of IPA and local craft beers will go $12 or $13.
Killer IPA if you get it from Tool
Yeah.
Shed.
Phillips Hop Circle, stuff like that. Alley Cat.
But my point was more like from a cost aspect. Like for me, like I was saying, like, and when we were going over that part of the show was obviously want to drink the best beer I can, but sometimes beers are just too expensive. So like I'll buy good beer that's cheap as opposed to be like I would in a perfect world I'd drink these fucking $30 bombers of awesomeness, but I can't afford that all the time. So I'll buy this cheaper beer, still good cheap craft beer, but just not on the same level because of just cost factors.
Well, I'm starting to brew more outrageous beers if I'm going to brew. Not always. I'm going to brew IPAs too, but I think for the bottle condition stuff, I got a lot of bombers laying around. I may as well brew like big crazy ass beers that are going to cost all that money because why not?
Yeah.
You know? Then you got tons of like barrel aged barley wines and shit that you can do at home. Because they put the tax more on the ABV for the bottle.
Yeah, but you're talking about more. You're talking about more about brewing a beer that's big and crazy. I mean, home brewing and buying beer is two separate things. So anybody can sit there and be like, oh, if you want good beer, just brew it yourself. Fucking commercial beer, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, what I do is
best deal, right?
The what?
I'm always looking for the best deal, but.
So you are if you're looking for the best deal, then you're looking for quantity.
No,
you know what I mean. I'm not omitting quality from that. I'm just saying quantity because that's what deal is. You're getting more for your buck.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, if I see some breweries like we're mentioning, Tool Shed has an incredible IPA for $13, $14 a 6-pack. I'm not going to buy the Budweiser. No way in hell, right? But sometimes I'll buy a shit beer just to review it, even though I know it's shit. If I can find it in a single, just to review it for the hell of it, too. So it doesn't really.
But you have to also agree that I understand where you're coming from with the whole homebrew thing. But I mean, professional commercial breweries, even the macro ones, smaller ones, make awesome beers that you can't accomplish.
Well, they're gonna have stuff that I wouldn't stumble across because it's like every chef makes a different soup. But and again, who wants 5 gallons of something like really off the wall? You know, you don't really necessarily want to drink a keg of maybe. I mean, for something totally outrageous, you know, you might stick around too long for me. But I think we probably all are pretty similar in the way we buy beer. We're just looking for the best beer, and if we can find it cheaper across town, we'll go get it. Or if another brand similar or better and cheaper, we'll get that one.
With me, what I do is once a month, or when I don't go down south to the capital, I just order stuff. But when I do go down there, I'll have, let's say, $300-400 I've saved up, and I say, okay, I can spend $100-150 on big crazy beers. The rest will just be on like smaller stuff, you know. I set a kind of like I'm not gonna go spend $300-400 on like 10 bottles of crazy shit, you know.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Like I recently bought these Cascade beers here, way too much money. Never gonna buy them again, but they were good.
But it was a fun experience. That's also a thing that we didn't really cover that much in the episode, is that sometimes I'll buy a beer where I actually know it's kind of like, maybe I shouldn't spend this money, but I know it's a singular, cool, fun experience, even though maybe it wasn't the best beer I ever had, but I know it's a fun experience, and I'm glad that I experienced it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I'll talk about, like, I had a beer, and I'm like, yeah, it's too expensive, but I'm glad I spent the money at the singular time, because I got to see what it was all about.
Yeah, like that Cantillon beer I had for my 200th review, it wasn't near the best beer or near the best of its style that I've had, but I'm glad I tried it, you know.
Well, one thing I'm thinking of right now is Sierra Nevada just came up here, and I'm going to the bottle shops. They want $20 for a pack of their session ale or whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever buy Sierra Nevada for $20 a 6-pack. You know, unless it's something like their barley wine or something.
Yeah. Just like Lagunitas up here is 22 to 25 bucks a sixer. Like,
which is insane, because you can I'm seriously been considering. Joe's not gonna stop laughing for like 10 minutes. I've been seriously debating on whether I should convert my car from gasoline to Lagunitas fuel, because it's just cheaper to buy like fucking kegs of Lagunitas and power my car in Lagunitas.
What else is Deschutes? $20 a sixer up here. Doesn't matter if it's a session or what it is.
Deschutes Fresh Hop IPA. I paid a good $25-26 a sixer for that.
Ooh.
It's ridiculous.
And that was one of the. I like a lot of their beers, but that was one. Was it the Chasing Freshies?
Oh man, good stuff.
Mine must have been old. I wasn't like really blown away. I was kind of for the price. I got it in a bomber though.
Yeah. Or fresh squeezed. I'm talking about.
Fresh squeezed. Okay. Yeah. I did their wet hop one or whatever it was. And, not too blown away, but.
See, those breweries, even like Deschutes, more than Lagunitas, but Deschutes is a little bit. By us, it's actually expensive because it's bootlegged. I can't get Deschutes in my immediate area unless it's bootlegged in my area. So if I'm gonna buy a sixer of Deschutes, it's probably gonna cost me $20. You know what I mean? Just
20 American. Then.
20 American, yeah. Well, which is even more than what you're spending, because you're using Canadian dollars, which is like Monopoly money, which is fucking. It's like since it's bootlegged into my area. You know what I mean? Like, there's like such weird laws here to it. It's like, okay, like there's if a brewery distributes to a certain area, you can't. If they sell their rights to a distributor, if the distributor doesn't choose to put their beer in your area, you're not allowed to get it. So in order to get it, someone has to physically go down, get it, bring it up, and sell it out of the back door or behind the counter. You know what I mean? And usually at that point, you're paying per single. So then Deschutes, actually, it's probably more expensive. Like a Deschutes Black Butte, I'm going to pay probably $5 a bottle for that if I wanted a Deschutes Black Butte. Now, if I drive to Philly, I can get it for $12 if I drive 2 hours, I can get it for $12 a sixer. You know what I mean?
Deschutes Black Butte, just the regular, is I'd say about $6 a bomber here, but their 26th anniversary one, or all their anniversary beers are like 25, 26.
No, I'm saying their Black Butte 12-ounce 6-pack bottle would be $5 by me.
Oh, we get it way cheaper then, but
that's because it's bootleg. It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's like buying drugs, basically. You know what I mean? So you're paying a huge markup. Yeah. So but if I want Deschutes, like their bombers, they're like their wax top series, like the Jubel or fucking Black Butte, the anniversary shit like that. They're always $17.99 to $19.99 if I go outside my area. But I had
their Jubel Ale tonight, actually, this year's edition. And it was really good.
The Jubel Ale or the Jubel?
The Jubel Ale?
The wax top one or the 12-ounce?
Just the 12-ounce of the Jubel Ale.
Okay. Because they do an imperialized wine barrel aged version of that called Jubel.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, I didn't know which one you were talking about.
No, I just tried the Jubel Ale tonight, and it was really good this year.
Yeah, it's nice winter warmer. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, it was one of the better beers we had. But I'll be looking out for that Jubel. I think I've heard of that, and now that you've described what it is, I'll be on the lookout for that. But I don't think I'll find it unless I go to Calgary, maybe.
What beer out your way that you've always wanted that you can't get?
Out here,
Yeah.
I've wanted to try Rune 10. I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know. I saw it and then it.
You love that West Coast fucking IPA stuff, though.
Well, I like a lot of styles. And I definitely like West Coast IPA, but there's not too many styles that I hate for the style. It's usually just because somebody buggered it up or whatever. Usually, most of your styles are good if they're done right, I think. I can't think of a style I hate, except for like spiced beers that are overspiced. You know, like the typical pumpkin shit that's overspiced. But I like pumpkin beers though. But if they're done right, you know, if they got pumpkin in them and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, if like that's the thing. Like, there's pumpkin beers, and then there's really good beers that just happen to have pumpkin in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. There's all these like kind of like macro made, whatever the fuck you want to call it, fucking just pumpkin beers that are just like, even if they're made by craft breweries, they're just pumping out shit beer just to get pumpkin in it. But then there's breweries like Cigar City's Good Gourd. Me and Joe did that one. Fucking even by us.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, Fegley's and fucking Weigerbacher do their pumpkin beers, or like Maple Mistress. There's some good ones out there.
I guess I lied, and Ron's gonna hate me for this, but American Macro is a style that I kind of hate. But other than that, I'm pretty good for like Euro lagers. I'm down with that, but something about the American stuff, most of it I can't. I can drink a fair bit of it, but there's some of them they're hard to choke down. Probably all have the same feelings towards American Macro. But I've never seen Weyerbacher. I've never seen, back to the question, I've never seen Founders up here, and I've never seen Weyerbacher, and I've never seen Goose Island's big offerings. Those are...
You probably won't see Weyerbacher up.
Probably never.
Like, anywhere.
Yeah, because they're barely... They do the East Coast and then sprinkle. Like, they're very small.
Okay.
Founders I'm kind of intrigued by, because I know they signed a deal with that Spain distribution company, so I assume they would be more prominent. And you'll have to see Goose Island over the next year or two, I would imagine.
We have the Sophie, the Matilda. We have a line of that stuff, and then we have...
Oh, you don't get Bourbon County, is what you're saying.
We don't get Bourbon County. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the first year Bourbon County came to Canada, and it was just in one area of Ontario, I think it was, right?
I think it was only in like the real big LCBO in Toronto. I think it was released there only.
Yeah, but it's a first step, so...
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we don't see Bourbon County out here, because the craft beer imports there, that distributor's really into like get the best shit we can, you know, all the time.
It's whether they're allowed to, though.
That's probably like more of a Goose Island's end kind of thing, that rather than a like what he can pull from them, you know, like, because I think a lot of like the Goose IPA is made at the Labatt Brewery in London, so I don't know like where like other places in Canada that they'll brew Goose stuff, you know. But Bourbon County itself, I think, is still just only made in Chicago.
After like what you're going to see after Ballast Point came up here, I don't know if I want to see something more miracles because it's $26 a 6-pack of Great Valve. It was a good beer, but it wasn't $26.
Well, chances are now you'll see it more readily available now that they got sold, you know.
Yeah.
$6 a 6-pack. That's not really.
That's how much it is here, though. Sculpin is like fucking pretty, like in PA, where we get proper distribution. What's Sculpin, Joe? Last time I checked, I think it was like fucking like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think I spent like maybe 12 or 13 on a 6-pack of cans.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now. I think it's actually it's never been like cheap. That's the thing. Like Ballast Point's never been cheap.
Well, I know in San Diego it's $10, but it's not San Diego. It's just across the street, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
San Diego.
These headphones are starting to bother my ears, boys. I'm gonna head out. So
All right, have a
I'll
good
talk
one.
to you
man.
guys later.
See you, Joe.
See ya.
Yeah, San Diego has amazing distribution, man. Like, for their local breweries, they're everywhere. Legoland, SeaWorld. Went to SeaWorld, they had a Lost Abbey, they had a Stone, couple other local ones, some Ballast Point, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
friggin' it.
Well, that's well. I mean, it's not that San Diego has amazing distribution. It's just that was like a hotbed, like an area that grew beer. You know what I mean? It's like an area
Yeah.
that beer became popular. So it's not so much that San Diego has good distribution; it's that there's so many good breweries there. They just get a lot of. There's for every brewery you hear of from California to San Diego, there's like 20 you've never heard of. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
that popular. And just to give you a fucking this is how much Sculpin is in my area right now. These are all bottle shops by me. I'm looking up lists. Sculpin 6-pack cans $14.99, $15.99, $15.10, $15.60, $14.99. So
like, converted to
That's-
Canadian dollars.
you're actually cheaper than us.
It's like $40 Canadian.
No, it's a $463 Canadian. No, but in reality, what would that be Canadian? Like 17 and change?
I think
Percent.
15 bucks American would be right around 22, 23 bucks Canadian.
Yeah, so you're getting it cheaper than I can get it.
Yeah.
26, a little bit more, but 26 is 6-pack.
Oh, 26. Okay, I misheard you.
$26, and you paid the same, Jordan, right? You paid 26.
Well, I went to a specialty shop and I paid 23, 24. But I think I can get it a bit cheaper. I think just in rural areas like where you're at, Raymond, where I'm at, Lacrete, it's just way too expensive to ever buy. You know?
See now, like Lagunitas, that's where we differ. Like Lagunitas by me is fucking cheap as shit. Like a 6-pack of Lagunitas brown sugar is like $9.99.
And probably Ballast Point will be cheaper soon too, since the sellout.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like they got the name. It's like Metallica. Might not be the best band ever, but they have a big name and everybody knows, so everyone's buying Metallica CDs. It's just, you know.
Well, there's some really good breweries that do like pricing right. You know what I mean? Like there's like I'm trying to like Lagunitas is really good. There's another one. I don't know why I'm spacing on it right now, but there's a couple of them. There's small ones by me that you guys would never get, but there's like other ones that are like their pricing is just on point. I don't know why I'm spacing on it. Oh, Uinta. Uinta does really great. I don't know if you guys get that shit up by you. Uinta does great fucking pricing.
I think I've seen one or two of their beers around here actually. But
they're a really good brewery too. All their stuff from their low ABV single pales to like their barrel aged shit is really nice.
I'm actually surprised I've seen the brewery's Tarot beers or Tarox.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The brewery's getting pretty commercial, like distribution-wise. They're not becoming a commercial brewery, but their distribution is becoming pretty. How do I put it? If you have macro beer, you have your AB and Bev, fucking Coors, Miller, the whole line. Here, then you next one down would be like Sam Adams. Sam Adams would be like, okay, they're the next big guy up of all the crap breweries out of Lagunitas, fucking like all those companies. Like it's like Sam Adams, and then in that line it's like Lagunitas, Bell's, fucking Founders, fucking all these crazy. The next one down level wise is the brewery. Like once you get down to that next level, like they're like that. They're the biggest, smallest brewery, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I love their beers personally. I think like basically everything they do is spot on. Stuff like the autumn maple.
But dude, I love brewery. The only problems I have with the brewery is actually one, is which is totally corrected, is infection. They used to be really bad with infected beers, but when they came out with the Tarot line, they actually, that's a separate. They used to have their sour and their regular brew house kind of like in the same facility.
Yeah.
Now, since they've expanded to like a big Tarot, the Tarot line is basically their sour line.
Yeah.
It's a totally separate facility, so now they're not having as much issue with infection and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did you ever have anything from the brewery, Berserker?
Yeah, me and Jordan examined the Jardiniere, which was a really good deal here. It was really cheap. And then I did their sour in the rye.
Yeah, see, I'm curious as to your thoughts on the brewery because, like, you're such a fucking hop fucking junkie that the brewery has literally said they'll never make an IPA in their life. They like stated they're like, we hate, fuck that shit. IPAs are dumb. We'll never make one. So.
No, I like their beers so far. I mean, the sour was very sour in the rye. And I just shipped Jordan a Curve, $55 beer.
The anniversary ale?
The
Yeah.
Couvre. Yeah.
Beer, whatever. And I haven't tried it.
I'm sporting a 24/7.
You paid
But,
$55 for that, Berserker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna look up the conversion
The
on it.
Jardiniere was like under $7 or something. It was like,
Well, I paid 11 or 12 for it, but I was also in a specialty shop, so you gotta.
this one shop I go into, sometimes I notice I can pick up beers for really cheap. Like the Harvest Dance, I think I got for like $7.50 or $8.
Well, yeah, that really surprised me because
Yeah,
Boulevard beers are always so expensive where I'm at.
And
55 Canadian is a little pricey, actually, for that.
I'm,
It was
yeah,
50. It was 50 or 55.
55.
Yeah.
Cheapest I've seen it is 51. Most expensive is in the 60s.
We get it for 30 flat American, which is like 41, 42, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And you gotta throw in
Canadian around there, but and that's like today. Like I could drive 8 minutes and pick up the case for 30 a bottle right now. It's like that. The breweries actually prices in America are standard. It's like you actually see like almost all like unless you go to a restaurant or whatever, but like the breweries like bottles are like almost like MSRP prices. Like they are what they are, whether they're in Canada or not Canada, whether they're in California or Alaska or Pennsylvania. If they're 30 in California, they're 30 in PA. If they're 40, if they're 29, if they're fucking 15, they pretty much stay even across the board here in the States.
Hey, Berserker, if you find this one anywhere, pick it up regardless of price. You're gonna love it, man.
Regardless of style, too, because there's a couple different ones.
Yeah. There's the bourbon barrel, which this is, and then there's the rye barrel. I think they do a whiskey barrel, maybe. I don't know exactly. I don't follow them too much, but
I think the sour and the rye was around $23 or in the mid 20s somewhere when I bought that one.
yeah.
Yeah, brewery's probably the most expensive beers I bought, but I think that Jardiniere was like really cheap though. When I saw it, I was like, brewery. It was in the fridge, and normally their stuff's on the shelf, unrefrigerated. But since it was a low ABV, so the guys that run the store know what they're doing, and it was like really fucking cheap.
Yeah, like there's like they have their anniversary, like the Corvée, or the Sucre, or like the Smoking Wood, stuff like that. Like those beers by me, like are anywhere between like the Smoking Wood. I think I was paying $20 for those, and then the anniversary I was $30. But everything else from their like Mischief, they're like because all they do is 750s. Like their Mischief to their Autumn Maple to their to their Christmas series, like the A Gieseling and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, is anywhere between $8 to $13 for 750. So they have that kind of price point. They're like, okay, this shit's expensive. You know what I mean? Like even like they do their Black Tuesday, which is their like fucking like special fucking once a year thing. Like I bought 3 of those at $30 a pop from the brewery. So even like their crazy special beers max at like 30, and then they have like tiers of pricing, I guess, for everything else.
Well, the one before Couvre Bois, that
Yeah.
one came in at $38 here. And
Well,
that
Bois-
was really. I was surprised. I never bought it though.
That was
touching
that was
myself
two,
in the
that was
face.
2 ago. It was a Bois Sucre Cuvée.
What?
Bois was like 3 years ago. It goes Bois Sucre Cuvée.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
There's one in between
So
the
I
two.
should have pounced on that because it was.
It was
available.
older. That's what I'm saying. It's old then. It's
Yeah.
like 2.5 years old.
Yeah. Dang, I should have picked that up, man.
That's why I said it, because that's like that's an aged bottle at that point, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what they do is, if you actually look it up, I mean, all their names are just anniversary, like the gifts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I basically hate myself right now.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you look up the gifts, like, you know, people like have anniversaries for the wedding, and it's like first year is like something, or like your 10th anniversary is like your 100th anniversary is like a diamond, and like your 75th anniversary wedding anniversary is like a fucking gold. Like that's what all the brewery anniversary beers, that they're like the names of those things, but in like French. So like Bois is like wood, I think.
Yeah,
and
and
like
Couvre
Cuvée is like paper or some bullshit, or I don't.
It's copper.
Yeah, copper. So that's all it is. So if you actually print out a list of your wedding anniversary presents, you'll actually know what the next year is going to be.
Yeah.
What do you think
Uh,
is like a really underrated beer that's a good deal like for you down there?
Great underrated, great deal beer. There's a lot of them actually. Like I said, Lagunitas typically. Lagunitas old gnarly wine is fucking fantastic. Like that's like you're talking about American barley wine, but it's like somewhere between American English. That it is very malt forward, but it has a decent hot presence, but it ages like a fucking machine. Like a bomber, that like a 5 mil and change, 6 mil, whatever bottle. I don't know how you guys what that conversion is up there. Fucking bomber sized bottle is like $6. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's that. That's how much it costs. Like for me, one of the better American made Doppelbocks. It's a 8 and change percent. Really nice, really well made German style heavy density Doppelbock is like by Trogs is called Troganator. That is $10.99 a 6-pack.
Nice.
There's a lot of beers like that. They're like high, like not high ABV,
Well-
but there's lower ABV stuff that is really good too. But
That's how it is out here. Like, honestly, best red ale I've had in my life has got to be a Red Rage from Toolshed. Like, bar none. Amazing beer. And I think we kind of take that one for granted, eh?
Yeah, I'm starting to pick. I'm gonna start picking up tool sheds more often. But I was gonna say up here, like Unibrew has some really good. Like I'll pick
Yeah.
up like Grand Reserve 17 for like $9 a bottle. Or
Yeah.
what's the other one? La Resolution. I think I got that for like $7.50.
Yeah.
Draft at the store. You can get a growler full of La Resolution. I drank into it. I was like, holy shit, this is a good beer.
yeah, like the 17 Grand Reserve 17 from Unibrew by me is typically going to be right around $14-15.
It's still not bad. Is that bad for you? I guess from being American, that's quite a bit more, I guess. But
No, that's about average what we pay. But once you factor in how much it costs Canadian, and then what you're paying $10, That means if you're paying $10 Canadian for a beer, that means it costs $8 American. So you're paying $8 American for what I pay $15 American. So I'm paying almost double.
Yeah.
And when I first started getting into beer again, I bought Le Fin du Monde, just not knowing what it was, and it was $2 a bottle, roughly, same price as any craft beer I could get. Le Fin du Monde was like $2.20 a bottle, and I got it in a 6-pack. I thought that's kind of expensive, and then I drank it and realized, holy shit, like that's a steal.
Well, one of the steals, like we talked about this at the end of the core portion of the show, me and Joe just did, is the Rochefort beers out by you. Like you guys, like right now, Rochefort like 8s, okay, in Canada by Joe are like high $3. Okay, so it costs like high $3.60 or 80 cents a bottle.
Out here it's closer to 5 or 6, but
okay, Canadian.
But that's still good. That's still a really good price.
But here's the thing. Let's say it's $4. Okay, in the United States, the cheapest right now in my area, and I'm saying the United States, but in my like tri-state area, I'm like talking within 3 hours. If you buy a Rochefort, like in a bottle shop, not a bar, in a bottle shop, you're gonna pay probably $8 to $9 American, and that's standard.
Yeah.
If you go in a bar, $12, no questions asked, easy $12 at minimum.
If I go into a bar, I'm getting a friggin' 500 ml, like a pint of Rochefort for $8-9 Canadian.
So that's what I'm talking about. Like Belgian stuff over there is so cheap.
Yeah.
And I broke it down. Like you could buy a case a la carte off the shelf of the LCBO. You could buy a case of Rocheforts for half the price. No, not half the price. $20 to $30 less than we pay in America for half a case. Like
Yeah,
you get a whole case of Rochefort for for like $20 less than we pay for a half a case.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So like because Rocheforts in the United States are sold by half, like $12. Like they're sold 12 packs. At like you actually don't buy it in like a 24 or 2-fer. You buy it in the 12 packs.
I think
it's
that
in
might
the high 90s American.
I think it might be because you guys go through middlemen and they're just basically taking advantage of you, you know.
Yeah, it sucks. But then again, we get a bunch of awesome beers, so it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
They're giving
Well,
Delirium way up here, like Delirium. You can get the sampler packs of those and stuff. I think they're like $3.50 at the most. I fucking love that beer. Delirium Nocturnum. That's a good one.
Nocturnum, that's the best of the bunch, baby.
It's a fucking.
Although I love fucking Delirium Red. I love it. As a fruit beer, I think it's fucking really, really well done. Have you guys had that one?
I've had it a couple times. I think I just never bothered reviewing it for some dumb reason. But speaking of Belgian beers, one thing I was dumbfounded by was I bought Cantillon's Bruxelles 2007. Out here it was $35 Canadian a bottle. And I was asking people how much it is out there in like New York, stuff like that. And I think it was Joe, Average Troll America. He figured 60-70 American for this bottle.
See, here's the thing. Cantillon it's like the exception, not the rule. You know what I mean? Because like I have a fucking Cantillon. No, it's supply versus demand versus douchebaggery, is what it is. Because exactly. I bought a Cantillon Creek from a bar, not a bottle shop, a bar, a couple months ago for $20.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, but there's where there's like hipsterisms or swelling of people who want shit. You know what I mean? They'll charge premiums for it. But if you know where to, I guess, get it, and like, not that you need to know, not like it's some special secret club, but if you'd be like, okay, I want a Cantillo and sell it to me, and they're like, okay, here's one, give me $20. You know what I mean? There's no raping involved.
Well,
The place made money, I made money, or I spent money, they made money, we're all happy. You know what I mean?
well, just like after the Bourbon County release this year, people are putting the Bourbon County Rare online, selling it for $500 a bottle.
Yeah.
And, like, people are just dicks.
Here's the thing, though. Who's the dick? The person that listed it or the person that bought it? Because someone probably fucking bought it.
True. Like, we both need some serious.
Because if there's no demand, there's no supply. So if that person who lists it for $500 doesn't sell for $500, that goes away. But if the person lists it for $500 and continues listing it, chances are he fucking did it. So there's a market for it. So who's the fucking real asshole? You know?
I think you know what? There's so much not better, but just as good, if not slightly less good beers you can buy for like $2-3 a shot. You know, go for that.
Some of the hype bothers me a little bit. And that's when I start looking on Beersmith and like if I really want it that bad, there's a clone recipe for it. I get it, you know, and you know, I don't want to pay, especially for a low ABV beer. I say like we're talking all these American beers that are showing, they're all over $20 a 6-pack. Like we got Tool Shed here, we got Alley Cat, we got Phillips, we got all these awesome breweries in Canada already locally. But
yeah, well, speaking of Alberta, like Tool Shed stuff like that, we don't have a lot of big ABV beers out here, eh? Like locally.
Alley Cat did their barley wine, and they kind of do a lot of one-offs and stuff. Other than that,
yeah, occasionally, like.
Well, this brewery I just toured today. They're supposed to. The guy says he's a barley wine fan, so he's going to have a barley wine apparently. Now it'll probably take a while to release. I'm sure, so we might be looking at 2 years or something. But
I had a bomber of what was it? Brewster's Imperial Stout. Aged in Kentucky barrels. Brewster's Brew Pub. 11.9%, I think. Really nice beer.
Yeah. Well, I tried that Russell Scotch Ale tonight, and it was incredible.
Yeah. But I find Alberta is more towards the session beers, you know, and we do them brilliantly. Like,
Ribstone Creek.
Ribstone Creek, man. Everything from them is genius. Like, even their lager is just...
Yeah, it's the best American adjunct lager. It's not adjunct. Actually, they messaged me when I reviewed it because I wasn't sure, and they said, well, it's pure barley, you know a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, Ribstone Creek is probably the best just session, easy drinking beers I've had. Next to Tool Shed. Every time I drink their beers, I'm just amazed, you know.
Yeah. I want to try a bunch of those dragons from Alley Cat. I hope they keep. I don't know if they're still pumping out. You probably see more of their stuff.
Buddy, you know what, Alley Cat, their regular lineup I'm okay with, but lately I've just been pissed off by them. Like,
Bombers?
Yeah, their bombers, the Dragon series, the Alberta Dragon, it was not good. Don't pick that up.
Okay. I noticed that some of their those are all like IPAs, and some of them sounded pretty weird. When I went on their website and was checking them out, I'm like, what the hell? So it was a little bit strange.
Well, they'll do single hop double IPA. And in my opinion, unless it's done perfectly, stuff like that can go awry so easily. Like,
But they use a weird hop sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that Ballast Point you got there?
What's up?
The Ballast Point one, not all over the internet.
This is the Commodore, which is their American Stout.
Okay.
How strong is that?
6 and change, I think. Let me see.
All right.
6.5. It is okay with a big O and a big K.
Currently drinking Village's Maiden India Session Ale.
Okay.
It's okay. Like, I'd buy it again, why not? But nothing amazing. What are you drinking, Beer Zerker?
I just down to mug out my homebrew PSB.
Nice.
Fuggles at 60, Wet Hop Willamette at 30, and UK Bramble Cross at 10 minutes.
I still have to fucking post a fucking video of me reviewing your Cascadian Dark Ale.
You drank that one?
Yeah, I fucking drank it. Of course I fucking drank it.
I didn't know if you're aging it still or not. What did you think?
I don't think it was a Cascadian Dark Ale. I actually, you know what? I shouldn't talk about it because I reviewed it. I drank it probably a month after I came home.
Oh, really?
I have 250 backlog videos. So
Oh, okay.
I liked it a lot.
I aged it and drank one last week here, and I found it did do pretty good with age. It didn't need much more than what I gave it, but I don't know when I brewed that, maybe 10 months ago, and it did really nice. Just finally,
by far one of my favorite fucking packaging labels of all time. It was wrapped in green netting. It had duct tape on it. Dude, like, seriously, like, you think I'm joking. I'm not. I was like, I absolutely love what this beer is inside because this is fucking fantastic. That's how I want all my beers to come.
That's how I want, like, it'd be great to see a brewery just have, like, a duct tape label. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Remember with a Sharpie?
I'd buy that shit all the time just for this pure trashiness of it, you know, like, just looks awesome. Like, Demolin stuff, favorite labels.
They're awesome. It's like you have to. Did you ever drink a fucking cease and desist or disputin'?
Yeah, Rasputin.
No. Have you ever drank a cease and desist or a disputin'? No.
No.
You have to find one, man, because they came out with that. They came out with old Rasputin, or they came out with Rasputin. Then Demolin, they're ghetto as fuck. It's white label. They give you they don't talk a bunch on their label. It's just, hey, this is the beer. Here's all the information. Done. But the fucking the cease and desist or in the disputin' fucking has this letter on them just talking shit on fucking a brewery because the North Coast from America sued them because they called their beer Rasputin. So they fucking and they're saying, oh, we call this beer cease and desist. North Coast can go fuck themselves, and there's this like whole thing where they just talk shit on a brewery and their label. I'm like, I fucking love it. This is awesome.
That's a big thing. Like today when we did the brewery tour, the brewery was called Wildcraft Brewery, and then Wild Rose got upset, so they sent him a cease and desist order, and now it's called Cooley Brewing. So they had to. I don't think they delivered.
Like Wild Pilsner and Wild IPA. Those guys.
That's now going to be called Cooley, but they're not brewing those. Those are contract brewed. So now we talked to the new brewmeister, and he says it was a disgrace and everything, and so they're starting fresh. With really high tech. It was a really nice brewery. It was everything's brand new. I mean, they aug out their barley and blast water. Just it's all.
Yeah.
It's all. There's nothing Mickey Mouse about it, I guess. Very professional.
Well, it's always good to see new breweries popping in. Where was it? Alberta, right?
Lethbridge, yeah, down here.
Yeah. Awesome.
We don't really have a brewery, so.
Yep. New brewery from Alberta is what's it called? Something Brewing, which I think is an awesome name.
Yeah.
Something Brewing, man.
Yeah.
It's simple.
There's always something brewing.
Well,
Yeah.
tried it?
I've had their Hot Bomb IPA, which
Oh,
I
yeah,
sent.
yeah, you sent me too. The Schwartz beer was really nice.
Yeah, that one was real good.
The hot bomb tasted like lime. It was kind of
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, it was very strange. It
Yeah, bizarre.
almost had like it tasted like you just took a mild IPA and just put tons of lime juice in it.
Yeah,
And I love that. I loved it.
I really like the Schwartz beer. The other one, I could do a 6-pack of it, but I don't know. But the Schwartz beer, I could session that Schwartz beer every day. That was a good one.
Yeah. My buddies are all into Star Wars, and we're geeking out for the last year and a half over the new movies. And then I give them this Schwarzbier, Dark Side Schwarzbier, and they just loved it, man. They're like, yeah, awesome. Council Brewing Beatitude Blueberry Tart Saison.
Look at that fucking color.
Whoa, that
That,
looks like a fucking Blueberry Julius or something.
Yeah, you would love this, Jordan. This is a beer you would love. I'm telling you right now.
yeah.
This is tart.
Just looking,
This is
just
tart.
looking at it, man. You know, like,
That's a good color.
Oh,
yeah, looks awesome.
I poured the Ballast Point, and I'm gonna drink it, and I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, what do I want? And I forgot I had this. I opened this like 2 days ago, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I have that fucking Beatitude. I was like, let me drink it. It's yeah. This is. Look at it. It looks like you liquefied a fucking Starkist or something like that. So like a fucking.
It looks like a Dole's fruit juices.
Mm-hmm.
Movie.
Like,
Yeah, it's
Well,
murky as fuck.
I'm wondering where your little umbrella is.
Yeah, right? It's like a fucking Hawaiian drink. Yeah, fucking, it's that fucking murky. Yeah, no, it's hitting the spot right now. I like poured it and I was like, do I want it? Because I have to be in the mood for like tartness. This level of tartness, I really like when tartness plays off sweetness, but this is like, when they're calling us a tart saison, they're like being liberal. It was more sour. It's not sour, but it's done sour leaning of tart. And
okay, with saisons, I realize my favorite saisons have like this lemony punch to them, you know, like this lemony, citrusy kind of Belgian funk.
I'm not a huge. Say that one more time, actually, before I say anything.
My favorite saisons have like a lemony, like a tart, kind of thing going on.
But that's what I mean. Like, this is not a traditional saison. This is like it's just like a soured saison. Like, it's like a tart saison. It's not necessarily like a typical Belgian style saison. This is like basically what it is they brewed something they weren't sure if they do. It's a whole Beatitude line, but they're like, it's not a saison and it's not a sour. It's somewhere in limbo. So they call it a tart saison because they have no fucking name to give it. That's what I get from this. Like, for example, if somebody gave this to me and it blinded it to where I couldn't see it and I couldn't do whatever and I smelled it and tasted it, I'd be like, what style is this? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I like it, but I have no idea.
I love beers like that. Like, I don't know. The label looks fantastic, in my opinion.
Council Brewing is a pretty coveted brewery out of San Diego. There you go.
Oh yeah. Beer Zerker, nice.
What was that?
I drank it like 2 years ago. I save it because I use it for the homebrew. Any growlers I get. Howie Sound Mega Destroyer Imperial Liquor Stout.
But this brewery is sent to me by like a viewer of mine. Just sent me a huge beer mail like ton of, like, I put up a beer mail video probably about like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Some dude from California sent me like 10
Yeah.
750s of fucking California beer, and this is in there.
Yeah, I think I saw that video. I was just a little drunk, so.
Aren't we all?
Like,
Yeah. I recently described my life as drunk or hungover or working. Like, that's it.
I was gonna say, like, saison wasn't my favorite style when I first tried it, and still isn't. But like when someone does it really good, though, like the driftwood saison, Jordan,
Yeah.
that was really good. And the Jardiniere we did, because the hops in there really made that one nice. That was a really nice mouth. That was like more authentic, but then it had like some kind of like American hop in it or something.
See, for me, like when I came through the beer door through Belgium. Those are the beers I like. So when I get a really nice saison, it's all about the yeast. If you throw a ton of hops in it, while I like a ton of hops, I like when somebody does it and they state it. Like Ommegang did like a hopped saison, and it was really nice. And other people have. To me, saison's all about the yeast, as are all Belgian beers. So when you get like that funkiness, nice fucking pepperiness, a little bit of fucking like almost even a little like coriander pepperiness, like a nice, so good.
I love Hennepin. I love Ommegang's Hennepin.
And that's actually what I was referencing. They did a dry hopped Hennepin. So like that's the one I was referencing. Where Ommegang, I'm not a huge Ommegang fan, but I love somewhere between love and like Hennepin. Yeah, but they're dry hopped. They did a dry hopped Hennepin, and it was really nice.
I like their straight up Hennepin. It was one of the first saisons I had, and I found it to have a nice lemony character to it, and that's what I like. So, nice.
St. Ambrose, I've heard a lot about that. I've never had it before, but I've heard a lot.
They have these pre-aged ones. Next time you come up here, you probably like this. This is a 2012 9.2 Imperial Stout that the guy at the liquor store said I should get it, and I got it for like $5 or something. Maybe it was more. I don't know. And so yeah, they got these. You can find these ones kind of aged. A lot of times, like this one, the 2012, just floating around. And it was pretty good. Nothing wrong with it at all. Totally to the style. Very enjoyable. Not the most mind-blowing one, but it was definitely way up there for quality. But you got to watch some of their beers to watch. Some of St. Ambrose stuff is, in my opinion. I mean, like their oak aged pale ale was good, and then they'll put out another one that like their Scotch ale was bullshit. And then their
Okay, gentlemen, I think we are going offline now because I am getting tired, and such is life. But this could continue offline.
that person you're electrocuting back there sounds like they're escaping.
They are. That's what happens.
You gotta get the bat and go back
When
there.
that beatitude gets in there, it'll get you. Cheers.
Cheers.